Good morning, good afternoon, and a good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. I hope you had a very good Christmas, and I hope you're still enjoying the festive period. Welcome back to the Blue Money Show. Today we'll talk about transfers, and then we're going to reviewing the match yesterday, which we won 2 goals to nothing. You could say, yeah, a win is a win, no matter how badly some of us think the team played. So that's by the way. Again, please. If you're already here, if you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, let's get into it. I see this here on Trust Perspective. It is again interactive, so we keep it interactive here. It's not about the panelists, but about those in the chat also. So I'll go straight to the chat and see what we have there already. As usual, again, I'd be surprised if someone else comes first. It is Liam Lane saying, "Blue morning, Coach." Panel and chat. Blue morning to you too. I hope you're doing well. Liam Lane says, and please like and subscribe if you enter. If you haven't, as you enter, as you help the channel reach a wider audience. Yes, the likes are very, very important. The more likes we get, the more the YouTube algorithm will be triggered, and in turn, it will push the stream to more people who would be interested in this particular topic. And if you're watching, please do let me know if you can hear me. Excuse me about the cough. Yeah, sorry, I'm still recovering. It's kept me track says, good morning, coach. Good morning to you too, brother. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. I have my brother already here, Tebago. Welcome to the panel. And straight away, we will get into getting some transfer news that we have here before coming back to reviewing the match. Thank you so much. Sounds good, says Liam Lane. Tebago, I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're enjoying the festive period.
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I can't complain, brother. Nice to have you here. I know you had a very horrible experience that you told me about, but we'll talk about it more later. We'll start with this one quickly. Uh, Unfortunately, I don't have do not have the picture of Badia Shield. I don't know if I should say Badia Shield or Badia Shield, but yeah, whatever. Again, I hope I'm not butchering his last name. Just quickly, I'll be with you guys. Here it says again, Barcelona have made a proposal to Badiashile. Wait until the summer and we can sign you. Meanwhile, Badiashile chose Chelsea over Manchester United due to the project with young players. Okay, I think this is just some nonsense. Given the experience in the summer or the what went on in the summer, where nearly every player we wanted to sign, Barcelona were interested in signing the players and signed 2 of them really. So I think this is just a made up story, cooked up story to get people to click on it. Tobago, what do you think?
To be honest, coach, I think Barcelona will target only free agents because I've saw that rumor that Barcelona won't be able to sign players due to their financial issues. So they will target more free agent players. I don't see them buying Bale. But let's wait and see.
Yeah, but to me again, overall, as I see it, I think it's just made up nonsense to get clicks because they know people will pay attention to the moment they say Chelsea is looking at a player and Barcelona are also interested in that particular player. So to me, just doesn't make any sense. Damn, Barca down bad. No, I don't think. I don't. Again, I don't think there's anything serious about that. That's how do I phrase it really? But that's by the way. Um, Bobby Faith, you big up brother. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a very good Christmas and you're enjoying the festive period. Nice to see you here. This is we can hear you loud and clear, brother. Big up to you and wishing a speedy recovery. Thank you so much. I think I'm better right now. It's just a bit of pain in my throat and all. Again, I think I'll get even better. So thank you so much for saying that, brother. I appreciate that. Um, Personally, I think that Barca proposal is rubbish. Yeah, it's just again the proposal also I stated that doesn't make any sort of sense. Saying wait for them again until summer and all that nonsense. I don't think it makes any sort of sense. Dave says hi, bro. Hi to you too. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. And this one says Hakim Ziyech, Mateo Kovacic, and Mateo Kovacic will return to Chelsea due to today. Graham Potter's confirmed. These again, two players who had again a longer break because they went far into the World Cup. So yeah, it makes sense that they had a longer break. This one here says Monaco are pushing for more than 35 million from Chelsea for Benoit Badiashile. Talks are ongoing with the 21-year-old centre back eager to make the move to Stamford Bridge. That is some good news there. So to me, I wouldn't pay too much attention to what they're saying about Barcelona. And if, again, any of you want to say something anytime, please do let me know. Just 1 second. Let me take care of something here. Oh my gosh. 1 second. I'm sorry, people. Okay, let's go ahead with the next one. Like I said, Tebago and Hakeem, if you want to come in anytime, please do come in as I'm reading this. I just want us to breeze through this so that we can get into the match rating proper. I don't think there's anything to talk about here. The negotiation is ongoing. And as reported by Fabrizio Romano yesterday, I think we're close to completing the deal. Let's see what we have here. What do we have here? Again, working up after a comfortable victory. Good to see. Let's go for Forest and City, all wins for sure. Yeah, I think for me, I would say it's a flattering result, really, but we'll get into it. We beat them 2-0, but it was a game of two halves. During the second half, had they been clinical or had better attackers, I think it would have been a different outcome, really. And had they scored one, like in the 67 to 70th minute, would be in serious trouble. Atletico Madrid and Portugal stars João Felix is a potential option, along with Barcelona, Memphis Depay in January. I never liked Memphis Depay as a player. As I've always said, it looks like he's more interested in becoming a musician and model than playing football. That could be the reason why he hasn't reached his potential yet. As for João Felix, I'm a bit confused as so the things I'm seeing out there, some say again that we're interested in getting him on loan with an option to buy, and they're already in advanced talks with his camp and some stuff like that. But we'll see what happens. It's a player I really want to see. And if you remember, I've argued here that I'd rather take João Felix over what's his name? I'd rather take João Felix over what's the AC Milan player over Rafael, Rafael Leao, given the fact that we lack again, we don't create too many chances from the central area, and João Felix will give us that. I know some people will say his numbers at Atletico Madrid and that good, but the truth is they play a very negative type of football. But during the World Cup, you can see how creative João Felix can be. Chelsea bid for Enzo. Yep, we'll talk about that in a bit. Is it true, Dave? Yep, I think it's true. I just received a notification. Okay. Oh, thank you very much for saying that. And Bruskit, I hope you had a very good holiday. And now, as some as you, Dave, I hope you guys enjoyed your Christmas and also enjoying the holiday or festive period, if you prefer. Enzo Fernandez agent is coming to Europe for discussion with the Premier League being his most likely destination. The 120 million euros release clause must be triggered for Benfica to sell the World Cup winner in January. And I'm hearing we're already offering 127 million, probably because there are all the other teams that are interested. So with that extra 7 million, maybe I will get to be the team to sign him. What I'm hearing, I heard that we've already sent some representatives to Portugal to start, again, facilitating the signing of the player. I hope that happens. It's a player I like, but I would say something. I think for that amount, I think it's a bit too much. But if the club feels like it's worth that amount, let them get him. Here it says, according to our sources, Chelsea have started the groundwork to sign Enzo Fernandez. We've spoken to his agent regarding a move and registered our official interest. This is a real potential deal to watch out for. He's young, he's just 21, and he's a very fine midfielder and can only get better. Fabrizio Romano, Enzo Fernandez will only leave if a club will trigger the 120 million euros release clause. His agent is coming to Europe to discuss with clubs. The Premier League is the most, I think this is something similar to what we've read already. Again, here's this. It says Chelsea have offered 120 million plus 10 million for Enzo. Fernandez. So to me, I think if we're willing to offer this amount, I don't see any club measuring that or outbidding us. So if the club really wants him, let them
For
get it.
me,
Yeah, go ahead.
for me, what I see, for me, what I see is going on is people are just doing copy and paste.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that Chelsea's officials are in Portugal. But
Hmm.
what I'm going to say is I'm not sure Chelsea will go for that amount. Maybe, of course, if they are in Portugal, they are there to negotiate. And the fact that his release clause is 120 doesn't mean that they will trigger it, because if you watch this new Chelsea board, um, they are straightforward. This is one thing that I like about them. They don't dally around when they are in negotiation. Either they have what they want or they move on to the next thing. Like gradual, what is going on with gradual? When they know that they can match um, the his release clause, they just move on to the next player.
Hmm.
If you've noticed, like our old board, they used to waste time on players like what we did with the Sevilla defender that ended up going to Barcelona.
Hmm.
I don't Kunde.
Hmm.
Kunde. We wasted, I think, almost about a month trying to negotiating about Kunde. But I'm sure if it was to be this board, they would have, if we either get it within this time period or we move on to the next player. That's why I think they are starting everything as early as possible. So if they don't get him according to like on reasonable amount, I think they will move on to a different player. If you've also watched all the players that we want, is like it's on fast track. The agreement is that's like they don't really waste time on agreement. Um,
Hmm.
the Fafana from Norway, and what is the other player that uh, the Bayer Leverkusen, the player in Ivory Leipzig.
You mean Vadia? Or you mean okay, Nkunku?
Nkunku, like if you've noticed, everything is on fast track. Like they just want to get everything done. They don't want to waste time on players, and then it also harms the team. The earlier the possible. So I don't. I
Hmm.
think they are doing everything, as early as possible. Go to Portugal, trying to negotiate. If we can, yes. If we cannot, then we move on to the next to the next player. So this is what I like about the board, but I'm not
Hmm.
sure Chelsea will
Here's the
really
thing. I
trigger the
think we're
150
seeing,
million.
yeah, we're seeing that they do move swiftly whenever they're really interested in a player, and they again, I think they take an approach where other clubs will actually not be again not get a chance to sign the player in question. But I'm really concerned about the price tag because if anything, I know he's done well at Benfica. If anything, most people knew only again got to know about him given his brilliant outing at the World Cup and all that. But I'd say it's a bit too much, really. But if the club feels like it's worth it, let them pay for it and get him. But let's see what happens. He's too
Coach,
young. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I agree with you. But again, like as I said before, I just want
Mm,
Chelsea to move on from big money signings. But again, our midfielder lack refreshment, lack new energy, lack new warriors. So maybe they are going all out for him because like for example, maybe 2 to 3 windows, they'll be aggressive. After that, they'll just spend smartly. But again, let's hope we get one of the good midfielders. We need them because Jorginho's 31 now. We can't rely on him more. So we need like a player like Enzo Fernandez. But again, I wish we could have kept Billy Gilmore because he could have solved our problems at the moment. But again, 120, 130, that's a lot. So hopefully we get him. But again, it's a lot of money, guys. Like as I said before, but nothing we can do.
yeah, I want again. 120 plus is a lot of money, but yeah, if they feel like it's worth it, let them pay for it. I think it's a bit too much, but that's the market we have right now. And the fact that again that I support the club not paying too much money for players, but sometimes when you see an exceptional talent that's worth it, you got to pay for it to have, again, a very strong team. If you're only going for the cheaper options, I don't think you'll have that strong of a team. It would take time for you to build a team that will be that strong. From again, if you're only willing to spend a certain, again, you could say a small amount of money to get players. Sometimes you have to pay out of this world amount to get that special talent that will help your team become better. But that's, by the way, this one here says Reese's performance coach on Instagram. I need to bite my tongue despite having a lot to say. Maybe he advised the club not to play Reece James, but they went ahead and did it anyway. But I'm confused as to why the suggestion would be not to play him. He wanted to go to the World Cup, and had he gone to the World Cup, and England when England progressed to the level that they were knocked out, I think he'd get to play a game or two. Actually, I'm not sure. This is a bit confusing to me, and why is he making such public statements? What do you think, Tebago? Before I go to Hakeem.
Yeah, I agree because, like, I don't think Graham Potter and his technical team will play Reece James if they were advised not to play him. Because after the game, he said the agreement was to play him for at least 60 minutes, then they'll take him off. And then he got that limp in the 51st minute. So that's a shame for us. So hopefully it's not another long injury. Hopefully it's getting better. But again, we need to solve something in our medical department because, like, there's some miscommunication there. We need to avoid this because Reece James is one of our key players. But again, also, I just blame the club overall. We knew that Reece James, he won't play most of the game because he's a sort of a vital player, but he get injured. We need another right back that can fill that spot when he's not available or when he needs to rest. Now he's going to get another injury. Aspilicueta is a good player, but again, you saw the difference between having Reece James and Aspilicueta. As soon as Aspilicueta came in, we lacked energy and stuff. So hopefully the club will fix that going forward.
Yeah, and again, the truth remains that playing Reece James wasn't anything bad. If the plan was to play him like around 20, 30 minutes or 60 minutes, that's the approach. That's usually what we see when a player, again, has been out for a long time due to an injury. When they come back, you ease them in gradually. That may have been the plan. And like Graham Potter said, that was the plan. I believe him. So I don't know where this such you can say divisive comment is coming from. It is dangerous, really. I don't like that. But let's see what happens. He shouldn't be making such public comment. It shows, again, there's some measure of division at the club. But that's, by the way, we'll move on from that. Do you have anything to say to that, Hakeem, or should we just move on?
For me, I think it's misconception when people always talk about our medical department, saying that our medical department to be blamed of what is going on. For me, I disagree with that. I've been following Chelsea for a long time, and I could tell you, like, we have one of the best medical departments. And even when Todd Boehly took over, if you notice, like, they fired some of the medical department and bring in some medical experts at Chelsea. I blame the old regime for their lack of recruitment at certain positions of a player, because what is Chelsea have so limited players that we have to overuse some players at some position. Like, I think what we have to do is, assuming if we have players that could play, not even at Chris James level, let's say like 80% of his level or 70% of his level, you could have gotten like much rest, like from the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
What we intend to do is, as soon as a player is on top of his game, we just abuse the players, using them day in, day out, even at games that they are not supposed to be playing. You play them. We have to change that tradition and bring in new tradition, bring in players or bring in like players that can play double position. You understand? Like a player like Hakimi, he can play at the left back, he can play at the right back. He can play at the right flank. Like we have to get players like this, like multi-position players, and reduce pressure on some key players. That is what I have to say about this.
Yeah, again, I'm not sure what the issue is really. Every time I look at it, I think it could be the what's it called, the medical department, could it be? But which I don't think it makes sense to blame the medical department, because the medical team, because they're there to treat people when they get injured. How about the physio? How about the training methodologists? That those things, it could mainly, if anything, it would be maybe the managers prefer the approach to training can be the cause of this. But I'm not gonna that we don't have enough sample size to say, okay, these are the people who think again, or it is their fault. But we'll find out with time. Let me get what we have in the chat. 120, here we go again. 120 million fraud again. I wouldn't say fraud because Enzo is a very fine player, and the risk is always there, no matter how much you paid for the player. But the truth remains, the higher the amount you pay for the player, the more pressure probably they'd have, because they'd be again. Be working to measure again to show that they what the amount that's paid for them. So yeah, the more the amount, the more the pressure on the player, especially young players. But we'll see what happens here. I hope again he performs. Showman Iceman says Enzo wouldn't be a flop. I don't think he will be again. But there's no guarantee really for any player. Chelsea should go for RB for a right back, and Molina can be a good option for me. The option I think will be the best will be Denzel Dumfries. We've looked at him during the summer when the club were looking at him. He had an almost an equal measure of again output to Reece James. Reece James, I think, beating with just 2 more assists or 2 more goals again. I think so, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Coach, listen, yeah. What do you think about what do you think about getting a player like Turan and using him at that position? Because
like who?
Watched him Turan.
Okay, go ahead.
The French player that
the son of Lilian Thuram.
Yeah. What do you think about getting a player?
Yeah, go ahead. You don't like that, Tebago?
No, Thuram is an attacking player, so why we use him as a right back?
No, I think when it comes to his defensive, like he's really good at defensive because he tracks back and he goes forward. What that I'm trying to say is try and get players that can play multiple positions so that if Reece James comes, because trust me, if Reece James comes, no player is willing to, no top player is willing to come and play second, like a second choice to Reece James. So
no, that's not the plan. Here's the thing. Players like Denzel Dumfries and or whoever player will start looking at to get in as a competition or it's called, you use the term rotational player. When you buy a good player such as Denzel Dumfries, you call it competition for Reece James or rotational player for Reece James because again, we're Chelsea and we have too many games to play. And you don't stick with one player every game. That's very dangerous. And in case that's more especially true when you talk about Reece James. Like Graham Potter said, even before that game, that we have to be careful with how we use Reece James. So I hate using the term backup. A player like Denzel Dumfries, so you're very correct to an extent, will never accept playing second fiddle to Reece James. What you can tell him to convince him would be, again, if you perform better than Reece James, you'll be the starter. And also, we have too many games to play, so you'll be rotating so Reece doesn't get injured and you don't get injured. And neither of you won't get overplayed, if that makes any sort of sense. So I'm going to try again. Go ahead if you are still saying something. I want us to catch up with what we have and then go into reviewing the match.
Yeah, we can go on.
Okay. Go ahead, Tebago.
And what about the Celtic right back who plays for Croatia? I think that will be another good call because, like, I saw his performance at the World Cup. It was impressive, and I don't think the fee for him will be huge than likes of Dumfries. So, but again, we'll just wait and see. Hopefully, in the January window, we get another right back that can fill in the Reece James position when it's not available. Because like, at the moment, as soon as we lose one of our fullback, we look shaky. Hopefully, we fix that.
Yeah, and again, I'm beginning to be concerned with Reece James's injury. Maybe it's nothing too serious. Maybe I shouldn't be bothering myself like Bobby advised me yesterday. But I'm thinking if that again, if the injury he's had, and how many now? 3, 4 times now. If it is the same injury that's been repeated, maybe he needs to go under the knife to correct it and get it done with. Because if it is the same injury and he doesn't go under the knife, it will still come back again. So yeah, let's see what happens. I hope. Again, I'm really concerned about the injury, but we'll still talk about that in detail. Yeah, Chelsea should go. Liam Lane saying here, if you want to challenge a big boy, sometimes you have to pay big money to get a top player. That's the truth. That's Liam Lane reinforcing my argument. Which we can, yeah, I get it. We're building for the future. We're scouting for talents, getting them young, paying 10 million, 15 million, 16 million. But sometimes still you need to sign again big name players, recognized players, if not for branding purposes alone, for their experience and how much they can help the team achieve. But that's, by the way, we'll move on. Reece has to be blamed because he has been training for a while now. He was crying for a World Cup spot, guys. Yeah, I said that. Again, if he was crying for a World Cup spot, which means by now he should be ready because he didn't even play at the World Cup. We cannot blame Chelsea for not treating him like an egg, like an eggshell, because this guy is a right back. Yeah, right wing back at that. Thibaut Salifa, again, good, delicious comment there. It doesn't make any sort of sense to try to blame anybody. I agree with you because he wanted to go to the World Cup, really. Again, he was only
Let me
left.
tell you something that
Yeah.
I've noticed about Reece James. Reece James is like a boxer. You have to take him. If you've watched boxing, like there are some boxers, no matter how much they get hit, they still want to continue. You have to make a decision and take them out of it. When you watch Reece James playing, like he is like he has like a huge ego. Like he wants to do everything, even if like crosses, like yeah, this is sometimes he wants to be the main man. So yeah, I think he won't, but I think the coaches also have to step up and try to tell him that listen, we have to make this decision, even though you might not agree with it. You have to make this decision. So I could tell that he told the coach that he wants to play and he can play, and the coach fixed him. So those people saying that yeah, he should be blamed. No, the coach is the one in control. So the coach is the one who has to make the big call up.
Yeah, let me quickly catch up with the chat. Everything we have in the chat, then I'll come back. Probably we'll go straight to reviewing the match. Potter's system is very much dependent on wing backs. It's no different from Thomas Tuchel's different, except for more progressive passes, more vertical passes. In the case of Potter, for Thomas Tuchel, it is a more reserved approach, picking and choosing when to attack, and that's why I've said before. Under Thomas Tuchel, if we create 5 chances in 5 minutes, we create 10 chances on the ground, Potter. So that's the difference. The only difference between the two managers, they still play wingers and wing back positions and always prefer playing to the back or hybrid approach. But we'll get to that. People love hindsight. It's so annoying. All these whiny fans were excited to have Reece back when the lineup were released, but now they want to pipe up because Reece couldn't handle 16 minutes. You could argue that everybody wanted him to start, and when we saw that he got injured, the blame game started. Again, people trying to find out whose fault it was. Jameson Wingard, Dumfries wouldn't want to be a backup. It's not a matter of being backup. Again, this whole thing comes down to how you sell the project to the player, letting him know again, you'll be rotating with this particular player. No player is going to play every game. That's the truth. He's good enough to be that. Look at how Manchester City does. They have nearly 3 starting players in every position, and you don't see any of them complaining because Pep has found a way to keep them all happy. I think the whole thing comes down to how you sell the project to the player. Billy Random Clips. I think Potter should have rested James for a bit longer. Again, I think he didn't do anything wrong by starting him. You start to reintroduce the player after a long-time injury gradually, and that was the plan. What happened then, again, we haven't gone about 30 minutes into the game when that happened. I don't remember when it happened, but I wouldn't go into blaming anybody for that. Malagusto is another good right back. I don't know who the clubs are looking at, Yeah, but he isn't worth 120 million. I've said that myself, but this is the market inflation and all that. Dumfries is quoted at 50, actually 60 million euros, and we should be buying him, but we are instead blowing an entire budget on a 21-year-old Argentine kid, probably because of his performance at the World Cup. Nkunku, Badeshiel, Dumfries, Leao could, again, yeah, 400 million. They could reach that. Um, Juranovic would be a very good, a very cheap option, and he's had a great World Cup too, and would be more than happy to challenge Reims. That's what I want to see: players that are willing to challenge all this. Kimso, I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. Get a Frimpong now. I'm not sure what even looking at him. Sack the medical staff. No, I wouldn't say again. Remember, if you're saying sack the medical staff, we must remember, first of all, players get injured before they go to the medical team in most cases. If anything, the physio or the training approach, that's what, again, the culprit in this case, if we're being honest, Reece and Fofana should just do a surgery on those weak knees, yeah, and deal with it once and for all, rather than, again, trying to wet it out and let it heal naturally, and then it comes back again. Hasn't Bali already removed the medical team? He's done. Yeah, I think he's done that. So that is a very, very correct comment there. He's sacked nearly all of them, brought in some expats, brought in some people on an again expatriate level. So lots of changes has gone on there. I don't think the medical team is a problem. The medical staff was sacked. This is a new crew now, so that shows you it isn't really their fault. Frimpong is better than Dumfries if you think so. Okay, and how you spell it? Enzo Fernandez and joining. He's more likely to join Chelsea than any other club if he's going to come to the Premier League. Reece is going to have a deal with his weight. Otherwise, these problems will be chronic. I've heard other people say that he has to try and lose weight. Otherwise, again, the problem will persist. I don't know. But he looked lean to me. Looked like he's lost some weight. Enzo's performance with Benfica is also impressive. Benfica this season is on an unbeaten streak. Really, I didn't know. Again, I haven't looked at his numbers. I haven't looked at his numbers at Benfica. But again, I hope we'll get him. Damn, again, Cody Gakpo is Liverpool player. Yeah, that was a steal from them. How they were able to, to snap him up while there are other people looking to sign him. That was surprising to me. Here we have again, his height isn't the problem, to be honest. Bobby is not even overweight. Okay, maybe again, like I said again, he looks lean to me, so I'm not sure what the problem is. Don't we have a right back in the academy? I'm not sure if we have any. And lucky since then, we sought out Anthony in front of goal. 120 million, to me, I'm saying it's too much. So let's go into rating the match proper. I think we've talked about Reece James again during the process. Of course, somebody talked about him, and I think we've talked about him to a considerable extent. I don't know if there's anything else to talk about him. If you're on the panel, if you want to talk about Reece James's injury record, you go ahead, so we can go into the rating, the reviewing the match and rating the players.
I just want to address this comment from Kimso. For example, clubs are not willing to sell their best players in January. That's why they'll charge you a high fee, whether you like it or not. So is that we pay that fee or we wait for the summer? And if we wait for the summer, more teams will come for him. So is that we want him now or we don't want him? Unless we wait until the summer and then we do a lot of the groundwork, make sure that we secure him secretively, and then we get him in the summer. But again, it's not simple, especially in the transfer. For example, Gakpo, we all knew that he is close to go to Manchester United, and then they've been saying him and Eric Ten Hag have the same agent, so it will be simple. But again, Liverpool just took him in a second. So anything can happen in the transfer window.
Yeah, anything can happen, and it makes sense. I think again, your comment is very correct that if you want any player from any club in January transfer window, you have to pay top money, because there's a chance that they may not be able to replace a player. And like we're hearing, Benfica wants to sell, but they want to sell early, so to get the money and try to get the replacement for Enzo Fernandez. So it makes sense. I really like us to move on from again talking transfers to rating to reviewing the match yesterday. It's Manuel says you will think a member of medical staff kicked his. I love that one. Given all the comments, how people are mentioning the medical staff, you would think it's their fault. Kicked Reece James. Reece went off holding the back of his tie, not the knee. Okay, thank you so much for clarifying that. But the first part of this sentence, I love it. It is hilarious, really. Like you're saying, we will sort out other players in training. Let's see what happens there. In all the big leagues in Europe, there's only one team that has yet lost a game. Benfica. That's an impressive record. And if it's part of it, I want him really. I haven't seen his performances at for Benfica, but at the World Cup, and I knew nothing about him actually until the World Cup. And maybe I should start watching more Portuguese league games because they have some talent there. And Wally Waldo, my brother here, says I just think people see him, but as stocky and think he's overweight, but he's actually not. I don't think he is really, but I get where Bobby's argument is coming from. Maybe if he loses more weight, maybe chances of the problem repeating or any other injury repeating will be a slight. Apparently, we beat 120 to 10 million. Bali be moving like Marty from Ozark. I love that show. I love that show, Ozark.
But again, coach,
yeah.
I just want to say something like you can see the clubs like Benfica. They're already planned ahead because, as you said, they want their money early so that they can get a player. And funny thing, they already have the replacement for him. The same team they got Enzo Fernandez, River Plate. They already have the option to get that player as soon as they sell Enzo, which is a winning situation for them. So clearly,
which is why they want the sale to be done as soon as possible. But go ahead.
Yes, so clearly you can see this club already have a plan. So, for example, if they're gonna sell their striker, who's that Ramos, they have already have a plan who's gonna replace him. So, with us, I hope Chelsea going forward we have already plans, future transfer plans, so that we can avoid such injuries, such problems, because some other clubs are run very smoothly.
Mm-hmm. Again, if you're watching, thank you for 20 likes, but we should be doing better than that. Please, if you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And this is from my brother here. Again, I love this comment, and the other one from Esa Mano. Those are two delicious comments, by the way. Says, big up to you, my brother. Everyone out there, big up to you too, brother. I hope you're doing well. You haven't streamed in a while. I hope you're good. And again, if you're watching, drop a like on the stream. 20 likes. We should be doing better than that because we're 47 minutes into the show. And whenever, okay, I'll send the link in a bit. I've seen your comment. Whenever you have time, please drop the link out to your channel so that people can go check it out. And I have to construct a credit a paragraph for you so that whenever you're on the panel, I can just straight away add your credit to the description section. It will help your channel. Also, I understand why Reece and Fofana are friends. Both of them are injury prone. So, are you sure you're gonna go to heaven? Really? I don't. There's such comments. But that's, by the way, as clubs, we will sort out again Anthony in front of goal. I hope. Let's see what happens. But as much as I don't understand what that means, Benfica already in talks with Guardo Rodrigo for Enzo's replacement. So they probably know they're going to lose a player this January transfer window. And from what I'm hearing, we have an edge. We're willing to pay even more than his release clause. Also, our relationship with Jogi Mendes. Let's see what happens. It is their fault, coach. Okay, if you want to say it that way. We had Dijon Sterling, but was sent on loan by Tuchel after he claimed he would add him to the squad. Rankin is similar to Reece. Okay, but we have to mix it up. The whole team shouldn't be made up of just the academy players. A Rankin and a right back, bro. Okay, I don't even know the player in question. Okay, I'll send it in. I'll send it in a bit. Rankin isn't a right back. Two players saying that also, which means he's a right wing back, right wing player. But Ken, again, as given how Graham Potter likes to play wingers in the wing back position, so he may well work in that Reece position. Rankin plays either right or left, not debating. Okay, Please like and subscribe when you enter. If you have not, as it helps the channel reach a wider audience. The likes do go a long way. We have just 21 likes, and we should be doing better than that. Tebago, let's get into talking about the match yesterday. Again, we'll go into talking about the overall team performance. But for you, really, your thoughts, not this one really, I think I'm looking for this, your thoughts on the overall performance.
To be honest, coach, from first minute until let me just say this: in the first half, we dominated, and we should have scored a lot of goals. For example, let me say 4 goals or 5 goals, because we created so many chances, and then we should have done better. The issue we have at the moment, we are not clinical enough, because we saw a speed passing, flow of play, creativity, many things that we won as Chelsea fans. It was so refreshing to see the boys playing like this. Hopefully, they can do that more, especially against with that team playing Northern Forest. We need more of this, because like we don't want just stop and go. This game you perform good, the other game you go bad. No, we just need consistently. So hopefully, Grandpa keep the same starting lineup. Unfortunately, Resdem is not available. We're just gonna play Espelekueta, but just keep the same lineup. Let's see what will they do in the following game. Will they give us the same thing? If not, you just for example, just keep the others. You just took one by one. You don't need to restructure everything. And like what he did on yesterday, keep the formation as a back four, and also just play Zakaria. Zakaria so far, since he's been given game time, is being impressive. He just like game that fitness. You can see the importance of him. Georgina was playing very well, because you have a DM next to him that can clean the mess for him. So overall, I enjoyed the game, but the second half was just shaky. But again, as long as we won the game, I'm happy, because 3 points is very important.
Here's the thing. Unfortunately, I'm not again. This is not me being pessimistic. I'm into looking beyond a win, especially that win. For me, it was a game of two halves. One that even when we were playing well during the first half, you can still see a lot of problems. We did see a lot of disjointed performance from the defensive line. A bit of a confusion, probably because of down to Koulibaly playing in the right hand side, on the right hand side or so. But to me, again, as much we won the game, but that must not again mask the fact that there were lots of glaring issues that we saw yesterday, especially when James went off. And again, the manager himself, we'll talk about him in a bit, but I want to get your thoughts on the overall performance from each of you. I'll go to Hakim in a bit, and I'll go to my brother, Nice Zion, in a bit too. Let's see what we have here. Again, J5 ran that game. I think J5 did very well, and his performance probably went under the radar because he didn't score a goal or didn't get an assist. Most people, again, probably didn't see how well he did. But we get into looking at the numbers to show how well each player did. Like I said yesterday, I think Havertz is going to have his best season at Chelsea. I saw something change in him at the World Cup because he was so determined to get Germany into the knockout round so much. Again, there's something that's certain about him. He's a big game player, but most people don't recognize that. And had Havertz been played consistently in a particular position since he joined us, I think we'll be looking at a different player right now. But unfortunately for him, he hasn't. And that's down to his versatility. So managers do call upon him to play in certain positions where they're short of personnel. But again, we move on from that. Let's see. I thought we played well. Just fell off a bit as soon as Reece James went off. Not really a bit. The whole of second half was awful, really, if we're being honest. But because we love Chelsea, if the game ends with us winning the game, usually, again, some people don't pay attention to what really happened during the game. Bournemouth just needed to put Killer in the box, scored 2-1. Yeah, exactly. All they didn't do was be clinical or have a good striker. we would have been in serious trouble. Have you seen Chelsea have bid 120 million euros for Enzo? Yep, and we've talked about that. The Undertaker CFC, nice to see you, brother. I hope you enjoyed your Christmas, and I hope you're enjoying the festive period. Nice to see you, brother. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. Rankin is a right side midfielder who started life covering Livramento in the youth. He played right back for Cambridge Youth before we signed him. Okay, that makes sense. Bobby Fergie says again, for all ball is a big data talk. Did they bother to look at Fofana's injury record? That actually still, as much as I like Fofana as a player, I was really concerned before we signed him. We did talk about his injury record at length, most of which, again, with the exception of that fracture, fibula fracture, we talked about how many times he's had a knee injury, even if they differ in proper definition. They were all changed. It was like twice in a year, again, after this year, the next year, and the year after. It was concerning to me. We had, again, a lengthy argument on whether he's injury prone or whether we should be paying that much money for him. Yeah, go ahead if you wanted to say something.
But we signed Fofana before Boli took over, so.
No, it was under him that we signed him.
Yes.
It's Boli that signed Fofana.
Yeah, it was under him.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, go ahead.
Boli is not like well, you could tell Boli is not really like a footballing person. So that was at the start.
Well, again, the whole thing, it wasn't just his decision. I think the scouting department then okayed it. Thomas Tuchel okayed it. If we're being honest, his job was just to put his signature on the checkbook and pay them. If there's anything, if the price that is involved in the process, actually. Go ahead. You wanted to say something, Tebago. I want to catch up with the chat. Ask Hakeem Ziyech about his thoughts on the overall performance, and then me, so we can go ahead with the match review.
Okay, I just want to say, like the previous transfer window, we were all over the place. So we can blame football, we can blame everyone. We were all over the place. So I just want to write off that transfer window because, like, a lot of things went wrong, but again, we move on.
Wally Water says Raskin isn't getting promoted, not with January right around the corner. And plus the fact that, again, what's his name, Graham Potter, just like Thomas Tuchel plays wingers in the wing-back position, I don't think the kid gets a chance, really. We still have wingers so capable of playing in that position. I am the biggest Kai critic, but even I have to admit that Kai Mount Sterling link-up was beautiful to see. Pulisic was also a breath of fresh air because we finally had a winger who isn't a coward 1v1. I think all the players looked fresh yesterday, but that doesn't mean there weren't issues yesterday. You will have to take injured players for your club. Okay, I'm not sure what you like. We only played Bournemouth. We should be beating them on paper, really. Remember, they've been a bogey team for us, so that's why I'm taking the win and say, okay, I'm happy with it. We played very well for the last 15 to 20 minutes of the first half. The rest we were poor, very, very poor. That again, I was surprised it took Graham Potter too long to make the change he made. And when he did, he made again the wrong changes for me. You will have to take injuries for your team. I get it. Yep, that's the truth. I honestly think reason for Fofana should just again get a surgery, go under the knife, correct the problem permanently, and not wait it out for it to heal naturally, and then it comes back again because it hasn't been corrected properly. It looks like this channel did more of background check of Fofana than the club. Yeah, it looks like we did really because we had a lengthy debate on whether he's injury prone or not. Lee, nice to see you again, brother. I hope you had a good Christmas. And again, you are enjoying the festive period. Very busy man, but thanks for finding time to join the show today. Greetings to one and all. Again, one and all. Hope you've all had a great holiday. Yep, and I'm enjoying mine. It ends in a few days because I get other programs that I'm engaged that I will start taking care of. But that's, by the way, coming to you, Hakeem. Your thoughts on the overall performance?
For me, the overall performance is okay. It's just that I was yesterday when I was watching the game, I felt like I love Chelsea too much because as soon as Rhys James, Rhys James went down, like my
Mm,
heart got broken. I wasn't. I was really. I was. Uh, it was. I felt really bad. Uh, Even though we won the game, it didn't sit well to me that he went on injury because you could see his presence in the field. Like he did like a lot of changes. People also say that we played really bad after the first half. It all comes down to Rhys James when he got
mhm,
injured. But yesterday the second half was really awful, and as you said, um, he made the coach made the wrong changes also. And trust me, I have lost confidence in Aubameyang. Like when he came inside, I felt like he looks overweight. He cannot run. He cannot do anything with the ball. And this is one person that I really had confidence with. And
mm.
Kai, Mason Mount, and what is his name? And Rem Stanley, yes, their link up was really good. And yesterday when we were talking, I told you that Zakaria goes forward because I've watched him really well, and he was everywhere on the pitch, and he
Mhm.
was also exhausted, and he should have made that change earlier. Yeah, but yesterday our overall performance wasn't that good, but I think we could do better. I think we could do better. For me, yeah, this is what I think. I think we could do better.
All right, I will catch up the chat and I'll go to Need to give us his detailed overall performance observations. But let's see what happens here. Greetings again. I've read that one since Chelsea had decent first half, but second half again, Bournemouth grew into the game, and Graham put the same as if he didn't have any answer to Bournemouth's improved performance during that second half, and it took him time to make the changes. And I was again furious, really. But we'll talk about that in a bit. Almighty Blues FC, my brother from another mother. Nice to see you here. I hope you're doing well. Please, when time allows, I can share the link to your channel so people can go check it out. If I try to do it myself, it will freeze my update screen. And so I don't want to try that. So please, well, go check out Almighty Blues FC. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you a great content, great, the best there is. Again, one and only actually in the Chelsea community, and you will love it. Let's all hit the like button. We're at 25 likes now, but I think we should be doing better than that. So if you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. You will have to play Manchester City in the upcoming games. Yeah, 2 times in the upcoming, twice again. That's again, you can say it's a defining moment for Graham Potter. As much as there will be excuses that we have players out injured, again, and we don't have the best one in the league. The performance overall, whether we lose or win, I think it's a defining. It will be a defining 2 times actually, defining games for him. Like the last time we played them, we played very well and had a better XG and could have won had we put away the chances we got. So again, a lot of people we just again accepted the result, given that we played very well on the day. Be right back, says Lee. Go get your coffee, brother, as always. Very close to 7K. Let's get Pachilla there. Yes, we have, again, how many to get to 7K? I think just less than, about 43 more subscribers to get to 7K. It could happen today or tomorrow or next. Whatever it happens, I'll take it. But 27 likes, we should be doing better than that. If you haven't, drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Again, just saying hi to each other. Zakaria looks like he enjoyed playing, to be honest. The guy was always smiling. Don't give it away. Don't give it away. I have a lot of goodies to talk about when it comes to Denis Zakaria. What a performance for him yesterday. A lot of, again breaking up the play on multiple occasions. And again, being the savior for us, really. If he hadn't read the game very well, there are, again, the chances that we could have considered at least 2 goals, really. He was just brilliant. Great to see, again, my bro, Zion too. Yep, again, we all prayed for him when he had that horrible accident. But again, let's celebrate him. He's alive. He's with us. He started streaming too. Again, I cannot be happier. Please like and subscribe when you enter if you have not, as it helps the channel grow and reach a wider audience. And with 29 likes, come on, guys, we should be doing better than that. And the vote, which asks the question: Chelsea overall performance against Bournemouth. 12% says lackluster. A game of two has 69%. Flattering win, 19%. Awful. Nobody said awful. Okay, that's fine. Niza, I'm coming to you, brother. Wagwan, bro. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Your again observation in terms of the overall performance. We'll get into talking about the players one by one, but now I want your thoughts on the overall performance of Chelsea against Bournemouth.
Well, one brother, big up to you, big up to everyone out there. It's a beautiful day. And then it's 29 degrees out here. It's still cold. Yesterday we saw the return of the Premier League Boxing
Mhm.
Day. Everyone was hoping to see a new Chelsea, but unfortunately, I don't think we saw a new Chelsea. And I have 4 notes that I want to touch on
Mhm.
based
Mhm.
on yesterday's game. It looks like some people are not looking at the bigger picture over here. They just so fascinated with Chelsea to the extent that they don't see what is happening on the football pitch. We all watch the game, and I know others see the game differently. Everybody has his own opinion on how they see Chelsea team on the pitch. The bigger picture here, from what I saw yesterday, there's no way Chelsea can beat any of the top 5 teams or top 6 teams out there. From what we saw yesterday, there's no way Chelsea can beat any of these. Manchester United, there's no way Chelsea can beat United. There's no way he can beat Arsenal. There's no way he can beat even Tottenham. We saw it at the bridge. Two goes up, then end up being 2-2 at the end of the game. There's so many lapses. There's so many defensive issues going on the football pitch. No one is saying it. Okay. Secondly, the setup of Graham Potter's team. I've said it on my stream, and I've said it on multiple streaming that I've been on. That Chelsea fans need to have patience. We're not going to make top 4. It is true. I'll tell you the truth. You're not going to make top 4. We've seen it happen again. That's a setup. Medical team. Reece James was not supposed to start the game. He was supposed to have a game time, but not to start the game. Reece haven't been involved in any competitive fixture, and playing a game of that magnitude, it is boring. Yeah, because Reece James wants to prove himself that yes, I couldn't make it to the starting 11, or I couldn't make it to the squad that went to the World Cup. So I want to prove myself that hey, I'm fit, I'm ready, I want to go. So Reece James is a player that gives 100% in every opportunity that he gets. So you expect Reece James to put all those muscles in, and it was wrong. You going when you I've been there before. Injuries. I've got my shoulder dislocated from a very boxing fight. What I did was they told me go in the gym, don't force yourself, do a little bit of aerobics, a little exercise, eat well, and then you can get yourself back. Don't over push yourself. Reece James, I feel like he is over pushing himself to get back to full fitness. And when that happens, 60 minutes, I said, Graham Potter said 60 minutes is giving this guy to get himself ready. It was way too much. Coming out from injury, all you need to give a player was 30 minutes. Let Aspilicueta start the game. Reece James come in 30 minutes and finish it up. We wouldn't have seen Reece James going through having the same knee. Someone said on your stream that Reece James walking out holding his tie, but wasn't a knee. No, I've seen so many incidents where there's physical contact on the pitch where players being hold their head, but at the end of the day, they're suffering from their tie or maybe ankle injury. It happens all the time. But then from what I've read so far, it's the same episode, the same reoccurring injury that is the knee. Is what we're looking for. We have to wait for 48 hours to get an update from Reece James' injury. That's what we're looking for. And also, I disagree. I disagree. I say it again, I disagree when people say Reece James was the reason why the team doesn't play well. I understand he formed part of the team. He's a core. He's an integral member of this Chelsea team. But Reece James cannot be the downfall of Chelsea. No, Gabriel Jesus is injured. But then they brought in Nketiah, who doesn't play as much as Gabriel Jesus do. He doesn't have all the attributes that Gabriel has. But then when he came in, he scored a goal because of the setup of Mikel Arteta.
Graham Potter's setup is not helping the team move forward. I saw yesterday game, there was supposed to be about 5 goals for Chelsea. But then I've seen this over and over again. Once they get to the final third, decision making, it's not there. They don't know what to do. Look at the chance that Gallagher had. You're like, what are you doing, Gallagher? There was no one in the pole. Just a couple guys in the pole. Where is that brain? Can't you use it? And then they block the ball. So you're not going to get these chances created for you. I mean, coming your way when you're playing a team like Manchester City, a team like Manchester United. What do you do when you get in the 18? What do you do? The first, I saw a new Chelsea that everyone was doing his best when Potter came in. That's what we saw in the first half. We are back from international break. Okay, what do we do? Everybody wants to prove a point. And that is how, look at the swift flow of football in the first 20 minutes. Raheem Sterling, Kai Havertz, oh, beautiful setup. Then after that, they dropped down. They went back to the old style again. So this is what I want to say. I know some will disagree, some will agree with me, but that is my opinion.
Yeah, but
this is what I saw.
The truth is, if we all agree, then we don't have a show. We have a show because that's a debate,
Right.
Again. But go ahead. There are differences, so to speak. Go ahead, Hakeem. You wanted to say something, so let's go into looking at the players' performances one by one. And by the way, again, what we have in the poll here, which asks the question, Chelsea overall performance, still 62% thinks it's a game of two halves, lackluster 14%, a flattering win, not faltering, really. Again, I misspelled it there, but I meant a flattering win, 24%. But go ahead, Hakeem, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, what I want to say is like I disagree with my brother when he said Reece James is not like the problem of Chelsea. Like in every team, we always have that the main core. That's when you don't have it, always affects you. We had like when Hazard left Chelsea, it affected us badly. When Kante goes on injury, it always affects us. And till now we're still going through this thing, the side. We still are going through the side effect of Kante. And in Arsenal that he uses as an example, when Thomas Partey went on injury, it's also affected them. Yes, they might have somebody who was able to replace Jesus. That doesn't mean that there are some players that like don't make changes when they are not with the team. So for me, I feel like Reece James, like, yeah, we really need him, and he always makes changes. When you watch our previous performance, he is like only him sometimes single-handed Chelsea when we needed him the most. So for me, I think his injury like made the changes.
Look, I understand what you're saying, my brother. I understand what you're saying. Sorry for cutting you. I understand what you're saying. But then you can't have Reece James for the whole entire season. You cannot do that. All have to be based on the setup, the way you set your team up. Even when one is missing, the way you set the team up, you wouldn't even feel the absence of Reece James if our setup is very, very well. That's what I'm trying to say. Beginning, I said Reece James it forms integral part of our team, but then we shouldn't miss him that much. We're just playing Bournemouth, and if you're struggling,
which comes down to the squad. If it's about not missing Reece James, it comes down to the squad, the players we have, because we don't have a good rotational. I hate to use the word backup. We don't have a good rotational player for Reece James or a good competition for Reece James. It is always when he's out, what we have is backup. And that's not good enough. We should have again at least 2 starting players in every position. So when one player isn't playing, whoever comes in would do a good enough job or even better job. But go ahead, round up so we can go into looking at the players' numbers and all that.
So yeah,
for me that is all.
Go ahead, brother.
No, go ahead.
Yeah,
I wanted to say that is all that I wanted to add up. So.
Oh, me too. Like I said, if we don't have good replacement for Reece James, are we not looking at the setup, the way we play, moving forward? Because take Thiago Silva away from our team. Like I said, also, and put somebody else there, we will concede lots of goals. That man over there cannot play all our games. And Thiago Silva being out, there's no organization in our defense. So lots of work needs to be done. Like I said, if you're a Chelsea fan and you're expecting top 4, forget about it right now. Because Newcastle are on top of their game and they're playing like a team and unit. Sorry, go ahead, brother.
But I think Chelsea supporters are the same people who that complain whenever the coach make like different type of doesn't stick with the same position, because at the beginning he starts with 3 at the back, 4 at the back, and we say that he's clueless. He doesn't know what to start with. So I don't know what we need. Today we tell him that he has to change the position, and whenever he tries to change the position to try and experiment something, that we all complain that he is clueless. He doesn't stick with one thing. So then it all comes down to what we need him to do.
Well, to my understanding, I think that Graham Potter is a technical director. We are not. We are just observers, and we see what is going on the pitch. But then he should be able to come up with his first 11 and even be able to come up with his tactics. What is his tactics? I don't know. 3 at the back, 4 at the back. I know he's very, he can change his tactics at any point in time. But then I don't think that it's comfortable for the players, because we play very good first half. Chelsea right now, Chelsea looks like English national team. They beat who they have to beat. They beat who they have to beat. And then when the time comes for them to beat the big teams, they can't do it anymore.
Yeah,
it's not there. It's not there.
Yeah.
Look at the game we played against Man City in the domestic cup competition. That game, at least we're supposed to win that game. But then the mindset is not there. We lost the game with some mere free kick. Mendy is just standing there. I don't even know what his future is right now. So yes,
another topic. There's no telling where his future lies right now, because it's not like he's injured. He wasn't on the bench.
Out of favorite.
Yeah, possibly. Or maybe again his mindset is the problem, because the contract situation is serious, really, that he rejected the offer outright. Again, to me, that's a problem. If you're watching, we have 32 likes. We should be doing better than that. Please take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. So we go into talking about player performances and player ratings. To me, let's start with Kepa Arrizabalaga here. It was really, again, another brilliant performance for him. You can say without Kepa Arrizabalaga, we could have witnessed the sort of disgraceful loss we witnessed against Brighton if it wasn't him between the sticks. Really, he's been brilliant, and yesterday wasn't an exception. Yesterday he was equally good. The ball went to him too many times to my liking. Sometimes, again, in a dangerous way. Sometimes when they shouldn't pass it to him, they pass it to him. But yet the calmness we saw from him, it was just something out of this world. I don't know. Again, Kepa is just brilliant, and he's improved. He commands this area quite well, comes with the ball again whenever you need him. He reads the game very well. If need be, he comes off his line to clear the ball or even find a pass with it. So yeah, and the statistics from Squeaker report yesterday showing he has the best save percentage in the Premier League since 2022-2023, 84 point something, and only considered 5 goals, I think. So that's brilliant. Even though he has had a poor defensive line for a while right now. The rating is 7.3 minutes played, 90 minute saves, 4 saves. Expected goal face 0.33. Accurate passes 34 out of 41. That's 35 out of 41. That's 85% pass accuracy, and that's excellent, really. And usually those passes again aren't easy to find because he always had people on them. Bournemouth, they press us again aggressively and strategically, so that made it even more difficult for him. And so in some cases, I thought, wow, they were going to get him now. Accurate long balls, 1 out of 6. That's poor. But again, that's the list of my concerns, really. Saves inside box 1. Let me see anything else here. Throws 5. Recoveries 7. That's a high, and I like that. Forget about the fantasy point. Touches 53 times. That's to show you they pass the ball a lot of times to him. So let me catch up quickly with what we have in the chat. I want to get the thoughts stat from Nizaya since we stopped there. 8 thoughts on Kepa Arrizabalaga performance. And I'll put the rating Paul, so that those in the chat can help rate Kepa Arrizabalaga performance yesterday. And Wally Waldo says one player doesn't make a team play well. Again, it's team game for a reason, and that's why I hate. Again, this is a delicious comment in the sense that it reminds me how I hate people calling for a manager to build a team around a single individual. I've always argued that's dangerous. When that happens, when that single individual is just marked properly in the game, and when they're injured, when they're ill, the team just can't play. So again, I love this comment by Wally Waldo here. Lucky Sin says, again, Chelsea fans, you respect the top four? No, I don't really. If it happens to me, it's a miracle, and I'll take it because Chelsea is the entity I support. Big ask for your team. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. England team scores more goals style better than Chelsea. That's a solid argument if you ask me. And Chelsea are okay. A team, three different managers. And if you're watching, if you're here, if you haven't subscribed to our sister channel where we cover all football clubs, it's called Soccer Perspective. Please go check it out and subscribe. So again, we may well cover the club you support there. We all said it in October. Let's just get to January without losing too much ground on on the top four position, and we have done okay on that. Hopefully, now we can get a few players in that will make us better. I hope that happens again, so we can, ensure that we make it to top four. Because if we don't, it will be very difficult to get back in there. Because the teams that are there are strong and will most likely strengthen in January. If we can get Kone, Frimpong, Bandishale, Badiashale top four is ours. No guarantee really, but I want to see us get at least Badiashale, maybe Enzo. But I really like Vanessa, but surprisingly, we're not talking about him right now. But I don't think we will make a top four. Liverpool and Man United are chasing it. And they, again, a strong side and probably will strengthen in January. Big Data is apparently not prioritizing the two positions we cover for the most, a DM and a right back. And a creative midfielder, central midfielder. I'm adding central midfielder role because I don't think we'll create enough chances from the central area. We're not diversifying our chance creation. Our chance creations are very predictable because the majority of the times they come from the flanks and majority of the times on the carpet. So it's predictable. And once we stop from putting in crosses, we're done. So, but if we have a player who's capable of, a midfielder who's capable of creating clear-cut chances, at least a player in the mode of Cesc Fabregas or Juan Mata or even Kevin De Bruyne, and again, then it'd be difficult to stop us because we can also create clear-cut chances from the central area. So, but let's see what happens exactly. Bobby, there's a conversation there. So, Nee, coming to you, your thoughts on Kepa Arrizabalaga performance. To me, he was brilliant.
His Kepa Arrizabalaga is an exceptional goalkeeper of his own kind. I feel very comfortable when he receives the ball, his antics and the way he maneuver and the way he controls the game. It's never panics. When it gets to Mendy's feet, I was like, oh my God. Then I start having a panic attack. The heartbeat, my heart started beating so fast, out of the ordinary. So, look, I'll tell you, I saw something that I saw on the pitch that makes me so happy was the communication between Kepa Arrizabalaga and Thiago Silva. One way or the other, I'm not sure the kind of language he's speaking, but I know there is a Hispanic language going on in there because Kepa is from Spain, and then I know the Brazilians speak some kind of, I think, Portuguese. So there's a little bit of a mix in there, which there is a good communication. I don't see that from Mendy because Mendy is speaking English. I don't know how good his English is. Okay, I've heard him speak before. His English is quite good, but Thiago Silva don't understand English. So what kind of communication is going on there between Thiago Silva and Mendy when they're playing?
Thiago Silva speaks French, so Mendy speaks French.
Absolutely, that makes a lot. Yeah, French.
Exactly. Yeah, I was thinking that there's something there. It makes sense now.
Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely,
it makes sense.
Mendy.
Yeah, we have our baby panelists speaking. I'm not sure if it's time.
Yeah, tell that baby to subscribe.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nee.
Tell that baby to subscribe. Yeah, people are wondering why I'm wearing my PJ. It's very early in the morning over here. It's just 7:20. So I just wake up and jump into the studio. I saw my brother was like, let me jump on and have a say. So don't be surprised when you see me wearing my Grinch top. Here it's still Christmas, you know. So yeah, like I told you, I saw that communication going on the page, and I was like, yeah, this is my guy. This is the guy I'm looking for. So yeah, I mean, Kepa, outstanding performance from him.
Yeah, and absolutely. Again, he was just brilliant. Again, what marvels me the most is how calm he is on the ball, even if he had 4 or 5 players in him, even to a certain to a measure that sometimes at one point my heart flew out of my body really. But again, I trust him. And again, let's see. And Mendy gets him back. I did a video where I said actually Mendy regaining the #1 spot is very difficult. It is Kepa's to keep. He's good on the ball. He's improved. Again, he commands his area quite well. He's a good shot stopper, really, overall. Yeah, more importantly, good on the ball. And his distribution is near excellent, really. Liam Lane says, again, we have built the team around one player, but we have built around the wing-back positions working well. And that's why the right wing-back cover is so important. Liam Lane is still using the term cover. So which means if Rich James gets injured, the player that's coming in, we can all say, yeah, he's coming in, but it's not as good as James. Or maybe the performance measure will most definitely reduce. So I want competition. I want a rotational player. That's what I want, really. But I get what you're saying there. You make a good point. Kepa is definitely first choice. It was so refreshing to see us have a keeper distributing the ball without giving us a heart attack. Mendy needs to solve solve that before he ever starts again. Even the chance of him starting will only be if Kepa gets injured. Because I'm sure his feet right now, it's not like he's ill. It's not like he's injured. If he was injured, if he's injured, we'd hear about that. If it's ill, we'd hear about that, really. And he's been back from the World Cup for a long time now and has trained with the team. So it doesn't look like that's a way back for him. And for the club to have offered him something he rejected outright, to me, shows they don't value him that much. And again, the comment that he feels disrespected means he'd be looking to leave. And if we're being honest, once a player, again, starts showing underperforming to a measure that, he's gone to the World Cup and back. And again, even at the World Cup, he made some high-profile errors. I think the only option for him to try to regain his good form would be to leave the club. And sometimes that actually doesn't even help. It just looks like Mendy is in a downward spiral. Maybe, but in the case of Chelsea, there's a solid argument that he may have lost the hunger he had when he joined Chelsea Football Club. I hope, again, maybe he joins another club and, again, regains that hunger to win. Maybe that will make a difference. But that's, by the way, French, is the common language they speak. Thiago Silva, Mendy, they both do speak a good French. So, yeah, the communication is easy between the two of them. Thiago Silva and who were the 2 players we talked about that speak French?
Oh, Thiago Silva and then Mendy.
Okay, and Mendy, yeah.
Mendy,
but again, but Mendy getting a chance to be to go
but
to speak.
how? Sorry, I'm not catching you up. But how do we know if Thiago speaks French? I'm not so sure about his French.
He stayed there for for how long? I think more than 5 years. I think so. I don't remember the length of time he stayed at PSG. So yeah, he speaks good French, and we've heard that before. Silva uses telepathy to communicate. But here's the thing: if I'm saying that, as much as this is funny, I'm going to say this: Silva actually doesn't need to speak to communicate on the pitch. He's that intelligent. Really, that's one thing that marvels me. He doesn't need to speak. Again, he knows how to control the game without speaking. Mendy and Silva can both speak French. Yeah, thank you very much for confirming that. The problem with Mendy is he thinks he doesn't have to improve on his ball distribution. That is one, again, comment I wanted to see before I talk about it, but I really want to see him say that. But at this point, it is still hearsay. I think the first person that talked about that here was Rodrigo Rodas. They said Mendy was asked, again, is it true that he needs to work on his ball distribution? And his response was that he doesn't think so. But to me, even if that isn't the case, you say, okay, I'll look at it. If that's true, then I'll start working on it. when saying again blatantly that you don't think so means you're arrogant, because the truth remains, solving the problem, part of solving the problem is recognizing you have a problem. But again, I'll try to move on to that, and we'll never talk about it again. Koulibaly speaks French also. Yep, I think they all started in France. Zakaria speaks French. I didn't know that, really. Silva has the French nationality. Wow. Okay, that makes sense. Silva can also speak English now. He's been learning the language since he came to Chelsea. It makes sense that he speaks English now. One player that I'm surprised how good, again, his English is Enzo Fernandez. But I think I've heard Leon Lane say something, there's a Scottish connection there. So if that's the case, then I'm not surprised he speaks very good English. But that's, by the way, Mendes rating. Let's look at again. I'm going to plug it in. But before we do that, quickly, Tebago, your thoughts on Kepa's performance, not Mendy, really, on the day. Your thoughts?
Can you hear me?
Yes, Tebago, I can hear you. Yeah, go ahead. Tebago.
Okay, to be honest, no.
Yeah, I'm trying to pronounce your name correctly because I've been calling you Tebago. Go ahead.
What's the right pronunciation?
Yeah, I think,
Tebago.
yeah, Tebago.
Okay. Tebago. Okay, I'm not going to forget it again. Go ahead, brother.
You've done it. You've said it many times, and you've kept that Tobago in my head. So that's what I was. I'm glad you said it. Tobago, yeah.
So it's my fault now.
Yeah. Because I see the name on Twitter and also YouTube. So all the time,
but again,
Tebago, if you don't mind, Nee says he has just 5 minutes. If you still have time, let's let Nee go.
Go ahead. Yeah, I'll be here for a little bit.
Okay, you wait. Okay, go ahead. Tebago.
I'll wait for Tebago.
Yeah. Go ahead. Tebago, go ahead.
Okay, just let him speak. It's fine.
No, okay, go ahead, Nee. He wants you to speak.
No, I'm not speaking. I'm all right. I'm just
speak. It's fine.
him. Yeah, I'm done when you. I'll be going when you're done. Speaking.
He's giving you the time to speak if you want to speak about. Okay, he has already speaking. He's already spoken about Kepa Arrizabalaga. So go ahead, Tebago.
Okay, no problem.
Mm-hmm. We're waiting for you.
I think he said delay feedback. He's receiving your
No, I don't
voice.
think so. I think he thinks we want you to speak first. So Tebago, go ahead.
To be honest, as Nee said, like I feel comfortable when Kepa plays in the goalie. With Mendy,
Okay, it looks like he's having a connection issue. You can go ahead, Nee, if you want to speak, or if you want to leave.
Let me go off and come back. I think my network is so bad now.
All right, no problem. Nee, you want to speak, or do I go to Hakim?
Let me hear what Hakim have to say. Then
okay, Hakim, go ahead.
Jump off.
Okay, Hakim, go ahead.
Yeah, Kepa. Yeah, for me, I feel like Kepa is still did a really good job yesterday, as everyone was saying. I had I had no issue when he was on the ball, and there was some the play some passes that they put together with the defense that was really superb. So when it comes because when your defense are good, like the keeper is not supposed to do much. The only thing that the goalkeeper is supposed to do is to make sure that he keep the ball when the ball is with him. And for me, whenever Mendy was playing, anytime that Mendy was on the ball, I always panic. But one thing that I trust about with Mendy was his savings and his recovering was really good. But most of the mistake also Mendy did was avoidable. I don't know what was wrong with him. I don't know if it was lack of concentration.
Lapses in concentration maybe.
Yeah, for me, this is because most of the mistake that he did was avoidable. Like he could have avoided. I don't know what or he tried to prove something, and then he ended up, putting himself in some kind of predicament. So For me, right now, I don't care what Mendy do. I don't care if he goes or if he stays. The only person that I want to be in the post to get a new goalkeeper or to integrate Slonina as our number one goalkeeper is Kappa. He has won my confidence. At this moment, he has won my confidence. About yesterday game, he did what he's supposed to do. He did everything, and he was also really composed, talking to Cucurella and talking to Thiago Silva and talking to all the defenders. Like, he was communicating with all of them. And yeah, this is what I want to see from a goalkeeper, not a goalkeeper who stays mute and always shout whenever there was mistakes. Because I was watching him yesterday, he was talking to them, and you could see the communication between them was really good. The passes and everything. There was only one time that Thiago Silva made a mistake by giving opponent passes. He wanted to do I think he wanted to give like a horizontal pass that went to the the ball went
to the Bournemouth play.
Yeah, but yesterday they were able to recover, and then everything came back to normal. So yesterday I was really impressed with Kappa.
Yeah, again, shaky display from Thiago Silva. Surprisingly, a rare shaky performance from him. It took him time to grow into the game and become settled. Like I said, that may well be down to Koulibaly playing on the right hand side, because the plan was to have the team structured. The deployment of the players to be in a way that it'd be easy for the team to transition from a back four to a back three, and it worked very well, really. But a bit of confusion.
But what are you guys going to say? Like, I feel like yesterday he had issue with his thigh. I don't know if he put a little bit of muscle. Thiago Silva, I don't know how severe was that. I don't know if anyone have heard news about it, because at the beginning he was limping, and I thought he'll be changed.
Yeah, there's a chance. It looked like again, he was nursing an injury, he was carrying an injury and had to finish the game. For some reason, I'm not sure why he started in the first place. I thought this is one of the games you rest him and start Chalobah, but Chalobah, we heard, wasn't fully fit. But that's by the way. Anyway, again, we'll get to that in a bit. Let's see what we have here. It says again, okay, I've read that one too. Please like and subscribe, guys. We have 34 likes. We should be doing better than that. Let's try and shoot for 100 likes by the time the show ends. Thank you so much for 34 likes, but please keep liking the stream. Silva needs a rest. After that travel in the World Cup, his participation in the World Cup in Qatar, I think would be better off resting him whenever necessary. But that's by the way, Nia, I don't know if you have anything else to say. You go ahead. We'll move on from Kepa's rating. I think I have it here. 29% thinks the rating should be 7. 21% thinks it should be 7.5. 21% again 8, and 29% 8.5. So I need a tiebreaker there. But go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, what I want to say is a little bit of update on Reece James. It's not the update that we are looking for. I mean, it's not an update that states how long he'll be gone. But from what Reece is saying in his tweet, you can tell that he'll be gone for a while. He'll be gone for a while. Yeah. I'll come back stronger. That means he should tell you that he's not going to be there in the next fixture or even the next following fixture. He'll be gone for a while. So we'll be missing Reece James. But we have to value our tactics and then our setup. That's what I'm going to say for now, because it's not looking good. If you look at the bigger picture, Bournemouth were not that good up front. Dominic Solanke have scored only 3 goals in the Premier League, if I'm right. So, playing against Bournemouth, and they didn't test us that much. And that little that we saw from Bournemouth yesterday, imagine playing a team that don't rest, that plays over 90 minutes, Leeds United, playing a team like Newcastle, Arsenal, will be down like 4 or 5 goals because they know how to keep the ball. We need a very, very good playmaker, not Zakaria. I know I heard someone saying Zakaria. That guy, if you've seen Chelsea before and the kind of players we've had in the past, the likes of Makelele and the likes of Michael Ballack and the ACNs and the Fabregas, those guys in the middle, if you've seen Chelsea, true Chelsea back in the years, you would never ever play Zakaria if you're not handicapped. If you're not really
the truth remains, we don't have. We can again. He's the best we can do at this point.
I understand.
He got the job done.
But if you mention those players, then I think a lot of players will not be playing for Chelsea. Will not be playing for Chelsea
No,
from
I'm
this
just
team.
I'm
You
just looking
mentioned,
at the bigger picture. I'm just looking at the bigger
No,
picture
I
because
get
yeah,
Nee's,
yeah,
I
I
get
next
agree with
Nee's
you.
game,
I agree.
argument.
yeah.
I think
Yeah,
Nee is feeling like we can do better than Zakaria, but truth remains, we have to make do with what we have. And for now, again, I think for a while, I haven't seen any player that played in that middle, except for N'Golo Kante, that protected the defense as well as he did yesterday. And had it not been for him, the truth is,
But
there were on two occasions where, without him reading the game quite well, very well, and being at the right place at the right time, Bournemouth would have found himself face to face with Kepa Arrizabalaga, and we don't know what the outcome would have been
but
had that
coach
happened. Yeah,
Coachella, don't you think that if Potter has given this young chap a chance, Omari Hutchinson, about half an hour or 30 minutes in the game, we can see what this guy is made of? Because the friendly against Everton,
Aston Villa,
was it no Aston Villa?
Aston Villa.
I saw glimpses how this guy can control and carry the ball, and he can be the Jack Grealish of Chelsea in our team.
no, I don't. I
Because
want him to be better than Jack Grealish. Jack
no,
Grealish right now,
no,
no
I
way.
have no,
No, he's the same.
not the character Jack Grealish, but I'm saying what he can do and create as those free kicks and those fouls in front of the 18 or even in the 18. Because Christian Pulisic, he just run around the pitch doing nothing. I don't know what he does.
Yeah,
He had
here's
the
the thing.
chance.
I
He had
think
a
Omari Hutchinson's case again. I was thinking he was going to bring him in because at one point the needed change was to inject fresh blood in the attacking area.
That's what I'm
Because
thinking.
at one point the Kai stopped pressing, he's run too much. The players we had in the front area stopped pressing and they were ineffective. But surprisingly, the manager, the changes he made, we'll talk about that in a bit. But I get
Right.
your argument.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
Again, Hakeem, let's start you again. Thiago Silva, just quickly.
uh,
Let's try and be quick with that.
uh
Your rating
um
for him. Yeah, go ahead, Nee.
yeah, before you go to Hakim, I want to tell you guys I have to drop off real quick and do something, run some errands around.
Oh yeah,
And then
understood.
yeah, if I have so much time, I would have stayed on to the rest of the show because
No worries.
my stream will be on I think 11 a.m. my time, which is 7:37 right now. So that give us 8, 9, 10, 11,
Yeah, can you share
about
your Twitter account link or on the again in the private chat so that Hakeem can follow you too?
okay, yeah, I'll
Yeah,
do that. I'll do that, and I'll send those information. And you guys have a wonderful stream, and I'll be behind it. I'll be behind, the comment section. I'll put my information in there. So
All right,
thank you
thank you
very
very
much,
much,
and
bro.
you guys have a
I
wonderful
appreciate it.
day.
And you too.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're
Silva
welcome.
needed rest. Needs a rest, says Kim. So I think so too. Thiago took a bad knock at the start of the game, and he did well to stay. Again, yeah. So he had to play or not because again, it's because maybe can what's his name? Chalobah wasn't really fit, or maybe he was needed in the game. But it's understandable now why he stayed on because I saw him holding his tie or something. Zakaria protect our defense. He did it quite well, really. But I get Nee's argument. For me, Thiago Silva, I was still saying to me a rating. You could say a rating of 7 for me. Go ahead. What do you think about his performance yesterday? But I can still change that after I get the vote from those in the chat. Your thoughts on Thiago Silva's performance yesterday, Hakeem. Let's look at his numbers first. If you want us to do that, just give me a second. Here, let's look at Thiago Silva's numbers. Kepa again was good. For Thiago Silva, let's look at his numbers. He played 90 minutes really with an injury. A rating of 7.3 here. Accurate passes 89 to 94, 95%. I think he's the best in terms of accurate passes. Chances created, expected assists. Let me move on from that one. Touches 103. That's a high, probably the highest. Passes into the final third, 3. Surprisingly, most of our players they had fewer passes into the final third than usual. I don't know if we employed a cautious approach, but I test that doesn't say that's the case. Accurate long balls, a 12 out of 14, 86%. That's excellent, really. Tackles 100%. Clearances a 6. Headed clearances 4. Wow, interceptions 1, recoveries 5. Ground duels 1 out of 3. That's a bit poor. Air duels 1 out of 2, 50%. To me, again, that's actually an acceptable performance. Not actually, again, a good, very, very good performance, except for that one error that could have led to a goal. But again, to me, and as the rating says here, I think he had a very good game. Lolo, my good friend here, says Zakaria starting to play well. hope he gets his old times level. But are you going to buy him, or will he return to Juve? I'm not sure, really. There's a chance we'll let him go. But because he comes for a bargain. I think it was how many? 35 million euros or so, which is an up to 30 million pounds. Which around 30 million pounds or so. I'm not sure. But if we can get it for that price, it wouldn't be bad to have two defensively minded players, even if we buy another defensive minded players, because he was just brilliant yesterday. And we'll get to talking about it, but I get your argument. It depends. I think he gets to play a few more games, given that N'Golo Kante isn't available. It remains to be seen whether Graham Potter will still play him if he has Kovacic back, because he played the Kovacic role. But the only thing he did differently, again, was being more defensively minded than Kovacic always is. And plus, he read the game better than Kovacic will ever do, really. But that's by the way. So, your thoughts on Thiago Silva's performance, Hakeem? I want to please go ahead whenever you're ready.
Thiago Silva yesterday, like the only issue that I had was, when he had a knock, I was telling myself that because when he had a knock, we had a little bit of pressure on our side, and we were passing the ball. The defenders were passing the ball between them, and I was seeing him limping around. So I was asking, what if there was pressure on ourselves? Could he have run and could he have run and stop the attacker or something? So this was a question that I was asking myself. And the only mistake that I felt like he did was the pass that he gave. And as you said, it was the confusion within the defenders where Koulibaly is playing. But apart from that, I don't see him did anything really really bad or anything. Like for me, I felt like he's one of the best passer in our team, and he gave like a really good passes when we are progressing. And one thing I also want to add is I felt like in case if we have issues with defensive midfielder, which is passes and how he can read the game, for me, I feel like Thiago Silva could even play as our defensive midfielder, like the way we used to play David Luiz as a defensive midfielder, and we also use him as a defender. So, because when you come to when I was watching the game, our midfielders weren't giving any like true passes or any dangerous passes to that can create something. And I was watching Thiago Silva in our half giving like some deadly passes, trying to give some deadly passes, but sometimes I feel like the attackers don't see that, like they don't see what he wants to do. And he was giving like crossing the ball to our wingers, and and even before Reece James was out, he was also giving Reece James a lot of long passes, if you could watch. And that gave Reece James the chance to play the ball to play some flank passes with Raheem Sterling, which was really good. So yeah, for me, Thiago Silva, I think yesterday he did good, even though he was carrying like a little bit of knock. So I hope our match with Nottingham Forest, he get better and is able to feature, because we need him. This is one position that we can't afford to lose. Like he's one player that we can't afford to lose. With other position we can compromise, but Thiago Silva, no, I don't think we can afford to lose him at this moment.
No, he's an excellent player indeed. And again, I don't think we can afford to lose him. I think he doesn't need pace to perform. He doesn't need power to perform. It's his intelligence, his ability on the ball, his ability to read the game, and he's able to actually impact the game from deep the defensive area. That's how good a player he is. Yeah. Blue Cloud TV again. This is the if you haven't, this is the link to Nizan's YouTube channel. He was on the panel, Blue Clouds LLC. I guess you can see the Twitter handle there. Please go follow him on Twitter. Also, this is the link to his YouTube channel. Be sure to go subscribe to his channel and let him know I sent you, Kim, so I know you already subscribed to his channel. Nizan here providing us with an update. Chelsea are seriously considering signing a right back in January now, with Denzel Dumfries one of the first names on the list. Kimso says that Frimpong is better. I think on another day after when we finish the player rating exercise, I think I'll try and look at their output at the various clubs. But again, Denzel Dumfries is a player I want. But I get your argument, Kim. So we have again Thiago Silva, the rating 33, 33, 33 for 7.5, and 8. So I need a tiebreaker there. Let's give it a few minutes. Then I'll just go with 7.5. If anything changes in the chat, then we'll change it because I want us to get this done as quickly as possible. So Thiago Silva here, let's go with 7.5. I think except for that near error, really, you could call it that because we didn't concede from it. That would have been very bad for him. Koulibaly, let's look at his numbers on the day. To me, it was again a good performance for me too. Plus, he's been moved around from the left hand, playing on the left hand side to the right hand side to help us transition from a back four to a back three, and he played very well. But something I noticed yesterday was he had a low count of balls into the final third. Touches 69, which means Thiago Silva touched the ball nearly twice as much as him. Accurate long balls 1 out of 1. Tackles 1 out of 2. Clearances 3. Headed clearances 3. Interceptions 1. Recoveries 3. Ground duels 1. 3 out of 5. 60%. That's not bad. But aerial duels 1 out of 4. To me, that's poor. But overall, again, you could say it wasn't really a bad performance for him. But I think he can actually do better than that. But your thoughts, Hakeem?
Koulibaly yesterday, like I wasn't impressed with him on the ball, but off the ball, I felt like I feel like he did well by stopping some of the Bournemouth attackers, and the second half, especially when we had pressure on our side, like he was able to he was able to stop some of the balls coming in, and he and Zakaria were able to also like link up and stop some players entering in the Chelsea box. But then he didn't do anything exceptional for me to say yeah he did. But from what he did, I feel like it's average and it's okay, it's good. But I think he can do more. And also, I think it's also based on his new position, like the position that he's playing. Because I don't think this is his natural position. Because I've watched him in our previous games. He was able to do some like long passes, and yesterday he wasn't able to do. I wasn't seeing him giving like long passes to the wingers or to the attackers or to the midfielders, or maybe giving like horizontal passes. Yesterday he wasn't doing all of that, and this is one thing that also makes that this is one attribute that he has in his game. Like he has this one attribute that he has, be able to give passes, and yesterday I wasn't seeing him doing that. I feel like yesterday wasn't his best. Yeah, his yesterday performance wasn't his best on the ball, but off the ball he was able to do some really good defensive work.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be getting the rating from those in the chat, quickly changing them quickly so that we don't stay too long on the player rating. I want us to switch up and talk about other topics that are emerging right now. So yeah, again, I've taken down this. I'm going to put up a poll for Koulibaly's rating. Kimso says again, Dumfries won't join to be a backup. It depends on how you sell the project to the player. Like I said, you don't go to them and tell them they come into Chelsea to be a backup. They come in there so that they share again the game time with that particular player. They're human beings. They can't play every game. They will burn out. If you want to get into that argument, so Koulibaly, I'm going to ask those in the chat what they think about Koulibaly. But before I do that, let's continue here looking at the player performances. We've looked at Koulibaly numbers, looked at again Silva numbers. Let's again, no need to go to James. I'll just give a 7, given its impact on the game. But I really want us to look at Cucurella, who has 8.0. Let's start looking at Kukurea before I put up the poll to see how those in the chat will rate Koulibaly. Kukurea played 90 minutes. I test again says he has a brilliant game. Accurate passes 66 out of 76, 87 percent, not bad. Chances created 1. Down further here, touches 90. That's a high. Passes into the final third 5. I think that's the highest in this game really. Accurate crosses 1 out of 1. Accurate long balls 3 out of 8. That's 4. Tackles 1 out of 4. Last man tackle 1. Clearances 3. Headed clearances 1. Recovery 10. That's a high. That's probably the reason why he has an 8.0 rating there. Dribbled pass 1 time. Ground duels 4 out of 5. That's a high to 80%. Aerial duels 1 again out of 2. So yeah, again, I think he had a mere excellent game really, for being honest there. I'm not sure what do you think about Kukureya's performance?
Yesterday Cucurella was really like he was really good. If you could remember yesterday, like at the first half, he did. Some people might say it's a lack, but it all comes down to concentration. The Bournemouth striker had the ball, like he had a pass from the flanks, and then he had the ball or chased the ball, and the ball was about to fall on his feet for him to score a goal, and the Cucurella uh, luckily took the ball from his feet, like
with a light stitch tackle.
Yeah. And that saved us from conceding. So yesterday's concentration was really high, and yeah, he looks really fresh, and his fitness level was also like was really good. He was um, overlapping and coming back, and also he and Pulisic, like um, their communication was there yesterday. Yeah, so I think at 8 or 8.3 or 8.5 will be like for me. I wouldn't have any issue with that. With his
Yeah, I'll
with his
I'll
rating.
plug in the ratings later, but I'm picking up again the final rating from those in the chat. I picked up the one for Silva, the one for Koulibaly is on the screen, so that will help us finish in time. Let's look at this man. I'll say again, his performance went under the radar, but I think he was brilliant. He was running, he was reading the game quite well. Some good passes from me, and he helped us control the midfield. He played 90 minutes, a rating of 7.8 from Fortmob. Accurate passing 61 out of 66. That's not bad. 92. I think Silva has a better pass percentage there. Chances created 2. Let me see anything else. Serious here. Touches 76. Passes into the final third 9. Okay, that's the highest so far. Accurate long balls 3 out of 4, 75%. That's not bad. Tackles 1-0, interceptions 1, recoveries 13. That's a high. That's a high, really. Dribbled pass twice. Ground duels 1 out of 4. That's 4. But overall, you can say again, the recoveries are high. Long balls is good. Again, overall pass accuracy 92%. And those are not. It's not like it's one of those games where he often opts for the safer option. I think the passes were progressive yesterday. To me, I think he did quite well. What do you think about Jorginho's performance?
Did you know performance for me? It was okay. I think he only gave the simple passes. When I was watching him yesterday, like he only gave the simple passes, and sometimes also he loses the ball like 1 or 2 times when I was watching him. And Jorginho, he has like a track record of losing the ball like at the vital place where it always end up like in Chelsea's post. So yesterday, for me, what he didn't do anything that blew my mind. But his defensive was really good yesterday. That is one thing that I could say about it. But his passes to me was just like a simple average passes. It wasn't anything special to me. But then his defensive was really good.
No, I think defensively, again, he helped us control the game. More importantly, really, I must say, I think James deserves a 7. Some of the players I want us to rate are some again the controversial ones. To me, let's see. Jorginho was good yesterday, and I think it would be good to give him that rating he got from them yesterday, which is a 7.8. Not a bad rating, really. I'll give him 7.8. But the players I want Chelsea fans to rate will be Zakaria, most especially. To me, he was excellent yesterday. With this, I'm going to put Zakaria.
I was surprised. I was surprised with the rating that he gives Zakaria because yesterday he was like the reason why he got tired early was he was everywhere. He was at the back at the same time. You also find him at the front to the extent that he was trying to even shoot the ball to score. So I was surprised about, and he did a lot of good interception. Like he did a lot of tackling, uh, important tackling yesterday and interception. So
Mhm.
I'm really surprised with the rating that they gave Zakaria.
Yeah, again, I think that's a poor rating, really. I think he did. I think you could say he was one of the better performers on the day, for being honest. But I'm surprised as to why he got just a 6.5. I know even though he was taken off on the 82nd minute, I think he deserves a better rating there. Gio and Zakaria is very functional. And here, my brother Bobby Fairview said again, this talk about not coming to be a recent backup again ignores how we already managed two high quality left backs. Yeah, I'm saying again. Yeah, I get your argument. What I'm saying is again bringing in players to be a competition for the players we have in that particular position in question, or to be a rotational player. And like I said, people saying that particular player not coming to be again a backup should bear in mind that the whole thing comes down to how you sell the project to the player. And there are some players actually who feels like that they're better than the player currently at the club and probably would take the again the starting spot. But it depends on how you set the project. So yeah, that's a delicious comment right there, addressing the argument of
Yeah,
whether a player won't come to be a backup player or not. You wanted to say something?
yeah, I think we should let some players know that they are not they are not irreplaceable. Like every player could be replaced. Um, at some point, uh, our left back, what is his name? Our former um our left back from Leicester City. Uh, oh, he was on he went on injury and then we bought Cucurella and then yeah now you could tell he if he comes back and he doesn't perform well then Cucurella have taken his place. Yeah, this James might be like one of our important players, but then that doesn't mean that we should settle and wait for him to be fully fit before we get somebody who could replace him. Yeah, I totally agree with you. We should get players, not like telling them that they will be a backup. Like they should come and improve themselves and then put in the work. And when Rhys James comes and then he's performing like the player, then yeah, he could also like he should be challenged. Then we could have teams who are hungry. But then when you have team in a player in a position that he feels like he can go to injury and come back and his position is safe, I don't think that is healthy. So we should get like a top notch left, right back that will give him run of his money and then make him feel like, hey, listen, I have to get well and then train well and then comes back and make sure that I win my position. No one is safe. No one should. Yeah, he might be the one of our best players, but he shouldn't have it in his mind that his position is safe. So we should go full in and get like really good right back. We are Chelsea. We are not like any random team. We should get like a really good right back that will make the difference, not any just somebody. So I agree with you totally. It shouldn't be like a backup. It should be like a rotational player. We should make the players feel like yeah, you are coming in to rotate, not to be a backup.
We've got a frogs. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you enjoyed your Christmas and enjoying the first festive periods. He said, Juranovic isn't going to displace Reece James out of the first 11. I get the argument. The problem, even if Reece James is better, you still rotate them to keep Reece James fresh, to avoid him getting overplayed and getting injured. That's the argument. We're not saying who's better than the other or who displaces each other. I think teams and are structured that way these days. You put you build your team in a way. Again, you rotate the team so that again every time you have fresh legs to bring in or to start. It depends again, or maybe sometimes the player you play depends on the opposition that you're playing against. It's clearly a backup only because James is always injured. Okay, if you want, if you that's how you want to see it. Who is the best option to compete with him? To me, again, I haven't compared him to Juranovic and to the other player, Frimpong, mentioned by Kim. So I really want to do the comparison to say, okay, the output, they're out there, again, respective outputs in the previous season or in the previous, again, 2 seasons to get to know, okay, this is the best player for us. There's no way telling right now because I haven't looked at compared their numbers. So look at, to me, again, this man here, I really do want to look at his output in the game to see why he's rated at just a 6.2. Yes, he was substituted in the 82nd minute, but even if that, again, eye test showed you could say he was one of the reasons why we didn't concede because he was always at the right place at the right time, putting in last ditch tackles and being in the right place. Again, we conceded corner from one of them, but I'd rather that corner than the player getting a chance to score. So he played 82 minutes. Total shots, 2 shots. Yeah, he had an opportunity to score 2 good goals actually. One of them, I don't remember. Again, he smashed it against the opposition defense. The other one, he ballooned it. It wasn't a controlled shot. But overall, again, he was able to exploit spaces. He got into good spaces in the attacking area. And again, what a game. To me, it was a brilliant game overall. He wasn't perfect, but he did quite well. Accurate passes, 29 out of 33, 88%. That's near perfect, actually, near excellent. Expected goals, again, 0.19. I think that's irrelevant for, again, what we're looking for from him. Here, he has a shot accuracy, 0.1. Blocked shots, 1. Yep, that's important. I remember that. Touches, 48. Successful dribbles, yep, okay. Dispossessed 4 times. This is probably what led to that poor rating we're seeing there. Tackles 1, 2 out of 2. Clearances 3, recoveries 5. That's a high. Dribbled past 1 time. Ground duels 1, 2 out of 8. That's poor. That again, you can say this contributes to him having the low rating of 6 point. Is it 6.5? Yeah, again, as much as he did well, I test because he stops us from conceding. That to me is very important. So now I think looking at the numbers, you could say the reason he got that such poor rating was due to that kind of ball concession and also ground duels won those numbers. But that's, by the way, your thoughts on his performance yesterday. I'll still get what again to still try to get use a poll to get how those in the chat saw his performance yesterday. But over to you. What do you think about Zakaria's performance?
Yesterday, he started dispossessing the ball. That was late in the second half, which I felt like by then Graham Potter should have changed him because when he did a lot of running, he was in the opponent half, he was back in our half, and even when he was at the World Cup, he wasn't playing full time.
He didn't play too many games.
Yeah, he didn't play too many games. So I think his fitness level, his fitness level wasn't really there. But from the first half to the half of the second half, he was everywhere. He was doing everything that he's supposed to do. And when you also check the second goal came from him because he was having the ball and then he was trying to shoot the ball and then he dispossessed the ball. That was one of the dispossessed in the ball, and then the ball went to Kai Havertz, and then Kai Havertz gave it to Mason Mount, and then Mason Mount scored a goal. So he was also in a lot of places where he's like he was at the right places at the right time in most times, especially in the opponent half, and then he tried to create something, and as you said, he also tried to shoot the ball most of the time, which I didn't know that was.
Yeah, he got in good positions on occasions.
Yeah, so for me, I felt like the only thing that got him down was his fitness, his fitness, his match fitness. But then I feel like by then Graham Potter should have changed him. He was the player that I was looking for to change because I was really surprised that he changed um Christian Pulisic because Pulisic wasn't really tired. You could see from his game, and Raheem Sterling was also exhausted during that time, like during the like the half period of the second half. And I was surprised that he changed Christian Pulisic. But then, all in all, for me, I felt like to what I watched and my judgment, I feel like Zakaria did really good yesterday. I don't think he could have done more than what he did yesterday.
Yeah, and again, here's where I respectfully disagree with you that it should have been changed. I think he should have finished that game because when he went off, we lost the midfield battle. Really, that was when Bournemouth started playing well, very, really, really well in the absence of Denis Zakaria. I think he should have finished the game. He was a better player.
Yeah, then that you could then that you could say like we should have found somebody who could play like him. You
But we
understand?
don't have anyone else. That's why I said he could have finished the game. And again, I think it didn't make any sense that we took him off to bring in Conor Gallagher, and we lost
Conor
a midfield
Gallagher.
battle then. Yeah, so it didn't make any
Yeah.
sort of sense. Maybe he was trying to again play just a single six and have one more player in the attacking area. But to me, that still didn't help really. We were awful towards the end of the game, played very badly. I was even concerned that's a chance we concede a goal. And had that happened, Bournemouth would have had the momentum then, and there's a chance they equalize and beat us because they pressed us really throughout the second half. That was why I said it was a game of two halves. But that's by the way again. Yeah, like I said, I have to do my research to have again to compare them and then really come to conclusion, a sensible conclusion of who's the better of the players we've been linked with. Big up guys, smash the like button, says Bobby here. If you haven't, please do take a second to drop a like on the stream. It doesn't look like we'll get to 50 likes a day, but that's fine. We have 37 likes. And again, I'm grateful for that, really. The poll that asks Denis Zakaria's rating, it has a 7.5, 25% says 7.5. And again, 75% says 8. But we'll see what happens by the time it ends. Oh, okay. Again, hi, Bob. This one says, please like and subscribe when you enter if you have not, as it helps the channel grow and reach a wider audience. Yes, the likes do go a long way. The more you like the stream, the more the more the YouTube algorithm will be triggered, and in turn will push the stream to more people who would be interested in this particular topic. So please keep liking the stream. 37 likes. Let's get it to at least 40 and shoot for 50 by the time the show ends. Bobby says, I'm struggling to hear again on the panel. Zakaria rating 8 out of 10. I think he deserves an 8. He was brilliant. I know, like, if we've looked at the numbers, and again, I think we can all agree the poor rating here, the 6.5 rating here, comes down to the fact that it comes down to the fact that he considered the ball out too many times, like 4 or 5 times or so, 4 times at least. Plus, a ground duels one was 4. But again, eye test showed he was one of the better players on the pitch. It was one of the reasons why we didn't concede. But that's by the way. Let's look at Jorginho's numbers to see. Just looking at his numbers, I don't think. For me, I think that rating there for some we've rated him already. Let's look at what he has. I think we've looked at his overall numbers. Recoveries 13 times, which is high, and we come to the conclusion that again the recoveries is the reason why he got a 7.8 rating. So that's fine. Let's look at Christian Pulisic's numbers. And I'm going to give Zakaria an 8. It's a tie there. Maybe wait to see if I get the tiebreaker. Let's look at Christian Pulisic's numbers. To me, it wasn't the best of his performances. I could have had, you could say, 2 goals. One was, again, he was robbed of one. And the other, you could say, was just a poor the other one was just, again, him not taking his time to, again, control the ball first and then decide what to do with it. He was in a hurry to shoot and then ballooned it. It wasn't a bad performance. It wasn't the best of performances. I think if anything, it was mid, but still, he showed what he's capable of doing on the pitch. He played 82 minutes. Total shots, 3 shots. Accurate passes, 20 out of 23. That's not bad. That's near excellent, actually. 87% chances created, 1. Expected goals, 0.23. So he attacked very well. And shot accuracy, 0 out of 3. That's 4. Touches, 38. A successful dribbles, 1 out of 5. Whoa, that's poor, really. Passes into the final third, 3. He stays there, but it depends on where he passed the ball from. Accurate crosses, okay. Accurate long balls, 1 out of 2, 50%. Recoveries, 4. Ground duels, 1, 2 out of 7. That's 4. Aerial duels, 1. Okay, was fouled 1 time. Was a foul committed 1 time. To me, yeah, I think a 6.8 is a good rating for him. Really, I think, yeah, I would have given him 6.5. As much as I don't think he had a bad game, but at the same time, he didn't have the best of games. Your thoughts on Christian Pulisic?
Yesterday, people was like, I think a lot of people were criticizing him and saying that he was invincible and he wasn't there in the game. For me, I think then I would say I watch a different game because he shows his presence and his presence also gave problems to the defenders. When you see he and Kai Havertz and Mason Mount, like their link up was really good, and there are some runnings that he was doing, and he was confusing the defenders, and it took like a lot of pressure from Kai Havertz. If you know Kai Havertz game, Kai Havertz cannot handle pressure. Like he needs a space, he needs like players to get off of him. Anytime there is a player man marking him, then he get frustrated. But yesterday, like Christian Pulisic was able to attract a lot of the defenders on him. That gives Kai Havertz the free road to do a lot of things, like a lot of things that he wanted to do. And Christian Pulisic, yeah, some of the decisions that he makes might not be the best, but I think his presence on the field yesterday was positive. And you forgot to mention he was robbed from penalty yesterday. Also, he should have won a penalty.
Again, but I think what happened really, I think he didn't try to make the most of the situation. That's probably because the guy that again pulled his shirt, let it go on time, and I'm surprised even the VAR looked at that and didn't call that again. Didn't give a penalty. I was surprised, really shocked, if anything. Again, to say the least. But go ahead.
Yeah, for me, that is penalty any day, anywhere. I don't know what they were what they were watching, but to me, it was a penalty. And also, I don't think I see him doing a lot of uh, his final decision wasn't really good. He makes like the really good delivering, like he accelerate and go into the opponent boxes, but his final decisions wasn't really good. But yeah, then I felt like he could do better. But I agree with his rating. I think it's 6.8. Yeah, I agree with it. I could not I cannot yeah, 6.8. Yeah, I agree with
Yeah, that's. I think it's an acceptable rating for him, given he
yeah.
wasn't poor, it wasn't his best game, but I know he can do better than that, really. But let's see. For me, Mason Mount, as again, as much as you could say he had a good game, but at one point, you could say he went missing. But the interplay, it's easy, for one to still be under the influence of the interplay we saw between him, or let's say how fluid the back. Let's just call them front four, because that includes 1, 2, 3, and Kai Havertz. The front four again, it was a very fluid attack. The interplays were enjoyable to watch. But other than that, there was a time you could say he went missing. But overall, he still had again a good enough game. The goal was good. Pressed very well. A lot of running, like I expected him to, which was why you could argue again other managers like to start him. So he played 90 minutes. Again, one goal, total shots, 2 shots. One of them again winning. Chances created, 3 chances. Accurate passes, 37 out of 44. That's not bad. That's near excellent, actually. Expected goals 0.13. Expected goals on target 0.51. Expected assists 0.09. I forget about the fantasy points. Shot accuracy 2 out of 2. So they were both on target and one of them winning. So again, that's good to see. Touches 64 times. Successful dribbles 1 out of 2. Not bad. 50% of it. Passes into the final third 3. Accurate crosses 0 out of 3. That's a really, really poor. Again, where is it again? Accurate long balls of 4 out of 6. That's fine. Corners of 5. You took 5 corners. Offsides 1. Dispossessed 1 time. Defense tackles 1, 2 out of 3. That's good. That's excellent actually, given that again he's not a defender. Blocks 1, interceptions 1, recovers 4. That's high. Ground duels 1, 5 out of 7. That's excellent really. Was fouled 1 time. I think yeah he had a good game, but I wouldn't say excellent. But your thoughts?
For me, I've never lose confidence from Mason Mount. I feel like what he was going through happens to every player. I wouldn't say happens to all players, but sometimes it happens to some players. Like you lose form during some period. It happens to Messi. Like last season, Messi wasn't on top form, and look at Messi this season. Messi is on fire this season. I don't know where the criticism from Mason Mount always come from. I feel like it comes from an emotional point because people that criticize him were the same people who used to call him Lampard's son, and then under Tuchel he proved them wrong, and now they still want an excuse to still stand on to say that he's like he isn't that good enough. I don't know any player that you could go and get out there that would be better. You say is far better than Mason Mount. And it also comes down to people disrespecting the players that come from the Chelsea academy. If Mason Mount is to come from a player like a team outside Chelsea, Chelsea supporters will be all over him and say, yeah, let's go and get him for let's say 70 million or 80 million. But then we have player that comes from our academy, and then he's um, he's 22 years, and then people are criticizing him. And sometimes it's really annoying that you criticize him and then you forget what he did. I think even if he's not on top form, there's a time that true supporters have to encourage him and then try to push him to be where he is, because we all know what Mason Mount is capable of. I know what he can do. But about yesterday game, he's like I wouldn't say he was there, but this performance was far better than the performance that his previous performance before we went to the World Cup, because those games he was really awful. Like he couldn't get himself he couldn't get everything right. His passes, his decision making was bad. But for me, I feel like he's getting back to. If he's going to continue like this, he'll get back to his top form where he used to be. But this performance here, I think 8.5. I wouldn't give him 8.5. I think 8 will be okay. I think he could do better.
Yeah, and those in the chat thinks that Christian Pulisic deserves a 7-point rating. I'll give him that, and I'll ask them a question regarding the rating for Mason Mount. And we'll talk about who's the next player. We'll talk about Raheem Sterling. Again, except for that cross, again, and the interplays, to me, let me not get into it that much right now. We'll look at his numbers because there's a chance I test probably preconceived ideas on how he will perform on the day. You could say impair my judgment of his performance yesterday. But that's, by the way, I get your argument. Mason Mount, I'm not going to put anything there until I ask those in the chat. We have, again, let's go back to that and keep writing the players. Let's look at Raheem Sterling's numbers. To me, I still wasn't satisfied with his performance. He played how many minutes? 88 minutes, a rating of 8.1 from Bournemouth. Assist 1. That was a delicious assist, if we're being honest. And just quickly, let me catch up with what we have in the chat. We'll have 40 likes. If we can get it to 50 by the time the show ends, that would be just brilliant. And if you haven't, please do take a second to drop a like on the stream. and we're edging closer and closer to 7,000 subscribers. Right now, we're 6,964 subscribers, so we're not far, but we'll be getting there in a bit. What do we have in the chat, Bobby? I've read that. Sorry to hear that. Like the yes, people keep liking the stream. If you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The Princess Kid they saw how far about Reece James's injury. We just have to again go out for a better replacement. Maybe again a competition for him. We'll realize that whenever James is on the pitch of playing in, he gives a balance and we play better. Yeah, again, I get it. There's no clarity on when he's going to be back. The only thing from his was it a Twitter post that he will come back stronger. I hope it's not too long. Again, I think further assessment is needed for us to have a clear picture as to when he's going to come back. Sincerely, we don't value what we have. That's the problem. Mount is our product, and he's valued very well as well. Again, yeah, he's a good player. I'm not going to say he's the best or the worst. I think I know the reason why he divides opinions so much. Managers actually are, again, you could say, the culprits as to why fans see him like that, because they value his, again, industry more than his technical ability, more than paying attention to his development as a young player. He's still 23, but it's easy to forget he's just that he's that young because he's been playing football for a while. We don't deserve things like these. Again, at the Prince, I get the argument there. Glenn. Big up, Glenn. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're enjoying the festive period, brother. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. For Yates, we wanted young talent to come through, and now that they do, we break them down because of a bad pass. It's embarrassing, really. It's dangerous. It's concerning. It's a toxic culture that the Chelsea fan base will have young talent. For instance, when Conor Gallagher missed a penalty during the preseason, some fans started calling for the club to sell him. We started seeing debate whether he's good enough for Chelsea and all of that. There are so many others, really. There's so many occasions where we've seen the Chelsea fan base started calling for the youth player to be sold because they made one mistake. There was a time they were calling for Chalobah to be sold. And look what's going on now. He's one of the best players at the club. It's a good comment there. I think this whole thing stems from how we spent money on the Roman Abramovich, and unfortunately, it is dangerous, really. So, Raheem Sterling, 1 assist, 30 shots, 1 accurate passes, 33 out of 36, 92%. That's not bad. But I must say, of his passes, he often opts for safer options. Not really, again, taking on this man all the time. Chances created 3. I'm going to move on from all distance there. It's irrelevant, really. Shot accuracy, 1 out of 1. Touches, 52 touches. Successful dribbles, 2 out of 3. Okay. Roger is going to be surprised. Even I is surprised at this one because I've always argued if he attempts 100 dribbles, he never completes 101 of the dribbles. That's how horrible his dribbles have been of late. I hope that improves. But this is a good improvement given his record. Passes into the final third, 2 accurate crosses are out of 4. Yeah, again, he was poor on that again, but he got 1 correct, and that one that he got correct led to us scoring the first goal during the game. But yeah, again, he seemed, again, whenever he's on the flanks, it just seemed as if the defending player is his target, not the player in the box. That's concerning. I hope that improves. Accurate long balls, 1 out of 1. That's excellent. Corners are taking 1. Dispossessed 2 times. So recoveries 2. Duels 5 out of 8. 1. That's not bad, really. Was fouled 3 times. There's something that happened during the game. I was so furious. I think it was during the second half when the ball was lobbed to him. Now he went for it, and he was in front of the Bournemouth defender. The ball bounced on his front, again, and he should have continued to get the ball and score with it. He gave up as if somebody pulled him back, but nobody did. He gave up and was like going like this, and I couldn't believe it. I was really furious. I was so pissed at what happened.
I saw that he misjudged the ball.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be happening.
Yeah. He misjudged the ball. That was a clear chance. he misjudged the ball. I saw that. I was wondering why he didn't went for the ball. He misjudged the ball.
Or maybe he thought maybe he wasn't going to get it, because usually once the ball is in the air, he usually doesn't get it. So maybe he didn't expect the ball to bounce in his favor. That shouldn't be happening, really, because again, in primary school football, we're taught not to give up until you hear the whistle, really. But he did that. Given his experience, that shouldn't really be happening. That again, I was pissed. I don't know. Have you spoken about Raheem Sterling? If not, you go ahead.
Yeah, Raheem Sterling yesterday, he was okay. And yeah, his crossing make the difference, and you could tell, especially the dribbling. Like I was waiting to talk about it, because I yesterday I saw like he was able to make some successful dribbling. In our previous game, it wasn't. I don't know if he has lost that part of him. He couldn't take players on. He couldn't do anything. But
Mm-hmm.
then yesterday he was able to take players on. He was looking sharp yesterday, and yeah, that is all that I could say. But for me, his performance was okay. Like was really good yesterday. And
I wouldn't
with
say
his
really good. I
rating,
would just say okay, really.
okay, yeah. Well, if you compare the performance of him, our previous games, like, and you compare this performance, you might say I know he can do better than this, but then when you compare his performance before our games and this, I'm not talking about his performance at Manchester City. I'm talking about his performance since he came to Chelsea. I think this was one of the best.
Yeah, I get it. To me, nothing exceptional from him yesterday. An okay performance, if anything. But we'll talk further. We'll discuss that further in a bit. Just give me one second here. Again, we've read that one. Yes, and that's concerning. It's a toxic behavior. It's become a culture really over time. If you're watching, if you haven't, please do take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I don't think I'll go for two samples. I'll still plug in the ratings for all the players. But let's see how the fans, how they rate Mason Mount. And I'm going to ask them about Raheem Sterling too, so I can plug it in. But this man right here, he was just brilliant yesterday. The moment the game starts, he looked fresh, did a lot of running, and again, overall strategic pressing from the team. Once one player is going for the player with the ball, others covered, tried to cut out the passing lanes by marking the players who were open for the passes from the opponent. So it was a brilliant performance overall for Kai Havertz. And let's just look at his numbers. He played 90 minutes, and I'm not surprised. It looked as if, again, he was fit, still running throughout the game. Goals, one assist, one. Total shots, three. Accurate passes, 21 out of 27. 78, not bad. Chances created, two. Expected goals, 0.82. Expected goals on target, 0.88. Expected assists, 0.06. Shot accuracy, 1 out of 3. That's 4. Big chances missed, 1. Touches of 42. Passes into the final third, 3. Accurate long balls, 1. Offsides, 2. Defense, let's see. Clearances, 4. Header clearances, 3. Wow. Recoveries, 1. Dues, ground dues, 1 out of 4. That's 4. Aerial dues, 1. 5 out of 5. That's excellent. Fouls are committed, 3. I think Kai, you could say, deservedly should win man of the match. I don't know who, I forgot who won it. To me, I think he was by far the best player on the pitch on the day. Your thoughts are, again, Hakim?
Yeah, I think yesterday they gave the man of the match to Mason Mount. I think they gave Mason Mount man of the match.
Really?
It's English. Yeah, I think I thought so. I think they gave him the man of the match. If maybe I don't know, but for me, I was also thinking that Kai Havertz should win the man of the match. But with Kai Havertz, we just have to, if we are going to keep him, we just have to know his strength and know how to use him. And like we shouldn't be putting him places that he might think that this is what I always say. Like, coach, you should know your players and know what to use them. Your player might say, hey, I can be a goalkeeper doesn't mean that you should put them in the post for them to be goalkeepers. He said the last time that he can play like on all the front three, for which I disagree. We've seen him playing there, and it was awful. So for me, I think we should keep him at the as like as the main striker. We saw he was able to have like a two goals at um with before their last game at the World Cup, and also as soon as he came to Chelsea, he was able to score a hat trick. I never doubted his abilities, but sometimes my issue with him is consistency. Like if he's able to stay consistent, like in 3 games on a row, which I've never seen him do that. It also
Yes,
comes
then
down to
if
how.
we're being honest, Hakeem, sorry for cutting you off. Again, I don't know how we expect to see consistency from a player. Well, when that playing person hasn't played consistently, again, in a particular position, like we're talking especially young players, really. So it's difficult. It's not really his fault that we've not seen him perform consistently because he's played on the left, played as a 10, he's played on the flanks, left or right. And the problem is his versatility. So managers often believe, yeah, he's capable of playing the number 9 role. Since the number 9 man is injured or not fit enough, let's again just plugging him there. That's not helpful, really. But go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah, this is exactly what I'm saying. As coaches, like you have to know where to use your player. You shouldn't
Hmm.
be putting your players everywhere just because they say they can play there. You have to know their strengths and know how to use them and know how to bring the best out of them. But for what I see yesterday's game, I think if he's going to continue like this, he's going to be like the one of our important players. People always, I'm not going to deny, I was also part of the people that criticize him because I was having a high expectation, and then it comes, and then the coaches are using him how like they are just using him anyhow. And one thing that I will never take away from him is defensive, like how defensive he is. If you've watched most of our games, he's really good defensively. He comes back and he always win like he always wins
Area
clearance.
dudes.
Yeah, area doors, like he always does
Hmm.
that, and that you can never like I can't take away from him. He's really good. He's really good at that, and he's really intelligent player,
But the
which.
only area I want him to again improve on is again getting goals with his head. Defensively, I think if you look at it, you could say he's been brilliant, but for us, better than our defenders actually in terms of defending corner kicks and set piece. But go ahead.
Yeah, then if you say that, then you ask who is going to bring in the crosses, because Azuqueta is really bad when it comes to crosses, and Rhys James have been injured. And I think before Rhys James went to injury, he scored some. I don't remember, he scored like some really nice goal with his head. Like I don't remember the game, but
Hmm.
then when you watch Chelsea teams, like the crosses doesn't really come in. The one person that can give him those crosses is Akim Ziyech, and Akim Ziyech doesn't play. He doesn't play that much games, so it's just up to the coach to use him at the position that like he feels like is best for him, and then yeah, we could get the best out of him. But for yesterday games, for me, yeah, he's undoubtedly one of the best players on the pitch. He is one of my he's he's man of the match for me. He was everywhere. His engine was really good. His engine, if you watch him yesterday, his engine was really good. He was tracking back and coming in. And sometimes you even forget that he was the main striker. Like he comes in and then takes the ball from the back, drives it to the opponent half, and then play like really good interception ball with Raheem Sterling, Mason Mount. Their link up was really good yesterday. And
And
yeah,
a lot of excellent run from him too. Runs from
yeah,
him.
yeah, lot of excellent run from him. So yesterday, like I'm really happy with his performance, and the rating is for me. Yeah, the rating is accurate for him, and he's my man of the match yesterday.
He is indeed. Just 1 second. Let me ask those in the chat to see what did rate him. I think he was excellent. See how many again. headed clearances from him, even though he's again he was deployed as the number 9 there. He was still. Let's look at that number again because it's important we do. He was still able to make some headed clearances, even more than some of the defenders we had there. The area duels he won, his numbers in terms of area duel is better than that of actually Koulibaly. Let's go down further to defense. Again, clearances, 4 clearances from him. Really, that's a high.
Yeah.
Headed clearances, that's a 3. And recoveries, 1. Again, these 2 numbers, clearances, 4. Headed clearances, a 3. The 3 of this, 3 of these 4 clearances in total is this headed clearances. We must recognize that one could be with his feet. But let's look at Koulibaly's clearances there. In just 1 second. Okay, defense here. Clearances 3, headed clearances 3. So he's measuring him in headed clearances, but total clearances he has more than Koulibaly did in that game. He had more than Koulibaly did in that game. So an excellent performance from Kai. And look at that goal wasn't really easy. I've seen again some players trying to, such cross, which is if he doesn't slide, he won't get to it. I've seen some players waiting for it to come to their feet, but he had to slide perfectly timed, and again, I got it into the back of the net, and kudos to Raheem Sterling for perfectly weighted cross.
I don't know if you watch his interview. I don't know if you watch his interview, the post-game interview.
No, I didn't.
This is what we always say. Like, it always comes down to players understanding, and it also comes down to the coach. You have to play these players consistently so that they know each other. Because what he said he knows that Raheem Sterling likes giving this kind of balls. So as soon as he saw Raheem Sterling having the ball at that position, he knows what to be. So when Raheem Sterling crossed the ball, he knows that when Raheem Sterling was having the ball at that position, he knows what to be. He knows that the ball is going to come in. That is why he went for the ball at that moment. And some players, mostly, as you were saying, like, it wasn't an easy goal. Most players, you don't know if the crossing is going to come in front or back. So sometimes the ball always misses them. Like, sometimes the ball always misses them. Like, I think some player like Timo Werner, he has misses these kind of chances a lot of time because he didn't know if the crossing is going to be at the back or it's going to be at the front. So I'm really happy with the understanding that they are having, like, within them at the front line, because when we have understanding at the front, then the goals is going to come. But when there's no understanding, players don't know what to do, like, they don't know what this person is going to do, then it's going to be a lot of misses. But then I really like the understanding between the attackers.
And if we're being honest, if Raheem Sterling is good at, again, producing such a perfectly weighted crosses, but unfortunately he's not, because he missed some crosses too. Attempted crosses numbers is 4. 1 got through and it was perfectly weighted and got to Kai Havertz. If he's that good at it, I think maybe we should start playing him predominantly on the right-hand side, give him time to get into his own, and we'll see him become a good supplier or a better creator on the right-hand side, because again, with lack, again, even though, again, you could say we create chances and majority of them come from the flanks, we're still not seeing enough of that. In most cases, it just seems as if the defending players are the targets of our players. Surprisingly, those in the chart have Havertz rating, 50% thinks it should be 7.5, 33% thinks it should be 8, and 70% thinks it should be 8.5. For me, I think an 8 at least. I don't know about 7.5. I think he deserves a good rating, a better rating than 7.5. Yeah.
For me, I think he deserves 8.5.
Yeah, around that. At least 8. Yeah. Even if we're not going to give him an 8.5 rating. Let's talk about, again. Let's look at the teams again. We didn't do that. The team's overall statistics. The second half we were awful, for being honest. That was why I said this really was a game. It was a game of 2 halves. First half we dominated, again, with not much end product. We were poor again in terms of, again, taking our chances really. here's a total top stats here. Expected goals, we had 1.84, which means that shows you how poor we were in front of goals. Gallagher could have had the goal. Who again? Christian Pulisic should have had 2 goals. One was cancelled. Was again robbed. He was robbed of 1 goal. One was a miss. Denis Zakaria had 2 great opportunities. Again, you shoot where I expected him to put away. Really. Yeah, so that passes again. Aligns with what we saw. Yeah, go ahead.
That Conor Gallagher's goal chance, it shouldn't be his goal. He should have given it to. He should have given the pass to Raheem Sterling. I think he just wants to prove a point. So he panicked and then ballooned the ball up in the sky. I think he should have given. I should have given the ball to Raheem Sterling for Raheem Sterling to score the goal, because Raheem Sterling was standing at the clear chance. There wasn't any defenders on him, so I don't know. They have to work on that, because this is some of the issues that I see with Chelsea. When the players have the ball in front of everybody wants to score. It's not supposed to be all like, it's not supposed to be always like, yeah, you have to just try to pass the ball within yourself at the front, and then give the person who is standing at the vital place to score the goal. It's not always supposed to be like, yeah, I have the ball, so I have to score just because I'm in front of the post. So I think this is something that you have to work on.
I think you make a very good point. If we again had our team been less selfish last season and the past 2 seasons, I think we'll score more goals. Like the issue the issue like you mentioned is the problem is when we get to the final third or in the box, everybody wants to be the goal scorer. And in fact, when it comes to Manchester City in the final third or in the box, they're always, again, the players are always looking for the better positioned player. Square it to them, and then sometimes you just leave them with an open net to score. Again, that's a concern to me. Let's look at the whole numbers here. We had, again, 497 passes and got 88% of it accurate. They have 81% of it accurate. Fouls committed, 10 for them, 8 for us. Offsides, 3 non-offside for them. Corner kicks. Surprisingly, they had 8 corner kicks. And again, for us, 6 corner kicks. So to me, the fact that Kepa Arrizabalaga did as well as it did, again, there's an issue actually. And I'm not the one to say, again, to just because we won and not recognize that we had a problem. We struggled badly during the second half. But that's by the way. Let's talk about the managers, the substitutions. For me, were wrong. I don't think Denis Zakaria should have been subbed off. Even if he was tired, I would have asked him to again venture forward less and less as the game progresses, so he doesn't get again tired or exhausted. He was still, I think he was still fit enough and was still running when he was taken up. He should have finished the game for me. It was a risk taking him off, and we became vulnerable in the midfield area. Bournemouth started playing well the moment we took him off. I didn't like the changes, really. If anything, I think what we would have done, again, to still, again, be on top of the game, to be on the front foot, would have been to bring in attacking players. Even Omari Hutchinson, give him a chance. Bring in fresh blood in the attacking area to still, again, keep that pressure, that presence, that strategic presence. If had he done that, believe me, I think we would have again controlled the game to the end. But we lost again our way in the second half, and again, I did fear that we were going to concede. Your thoughts?
Yes, I agree with you about the changes. I didn't look at it yesterday as the way you explained it. I thought Zakaria was tired and he's supposed to change him like early, but then I listened to you, and then it makes a lot of sense to me that we're supposed to keep him in till the end of the game, because when you watch yesterday when he was out, then Bournemouth momentum increases. Like they started attacking us and putting a lot of pressure on us. We were lucky that we couldn't concede a goal yesterday, because I was really thinking that, oh man, they are going to score. But then yeah, they couldn't. They were also really awful with final decision, or they were really awful to find they were really awful with the ball in front in our final third. And um about Omar Hutchison, like I was confident that he's going to play yesterday.
I
I was
even thought
thinking that he's going to,
I even thought Chukwuemeka would get a chance, but probably that's a
yeah,
chance. The plan is to play them in a cup game against Manchester. Probably. Go ahead.
yeah. So I was really confident that he's going to play yesterday, because for Chukwuemeka, no, because he had a little knock. So I don't think, because I don't think I wasn't thinking that he was going to come in. But then Omar Hutchison, because in all our friendlies he played, so I think he was going to get this thing um, a, a game time yesterday. He took Pulisic in and bring who's in. He brought um, Aubameyang inside, and he brought Conor Gallagher inside, and I don't know who he took off and bring um, Raheem Sterling. He took which player brought Raheem Sterling. I have to check. But then my issue was with Aubameyang. Aubameyang, I think he has lost the hunger. He he was like, he looks heavy when running. I don't know if you've watched it. Like, he looks heavy
Yeah, I didn't really
when
pay attention to him. My concern was that he wasn't going to get again a good services. Even had they started, I think it would have been worse for him because I think the fluid approach was the best approach to have for the manager to have employed, and you can say that was why we outplayed them and we were again penetrating their defense, but weren't putting the chances away. But go ahead with what you were saying.
yeah. So this is what I was like, how I was really disappointed with him, because even though he didn't have, like, let's say, much time on the time, but there are some time that he had the ball and then he loses the ball for no reason, and he couldn't counter break with the ball. So I was thinking, like, man, what is wrong with him? I was
Hmm.
wondering what was wrong with him. If he really wants to be in the game, or he's just well,
Yeah. Just quickly, let
yeah.
me catch
So
up with the chat. Yeah. Again, just 1 second. Please like and subscribe when you enter. If you have not, I think helps the channel reach a wider audience. We have 46 likes. Just 4 more to get it to 50 likes. If you haven't, please take a second to drop a like on the stream and help us get it up to 50 likes at least by the time the show ends. We'll have a few minutes. I have to look at again the update that Liam Lane sent me before we call it a day. I will look to see whether there's anything new to talk about transfers before we call it a day. Go ahead if you were still talking. Okay, looks like he's on the phone. Kai Havertz, 29% of the votes. Again, it says 7.5. 29% of the votes says 8. 29% of the votes says 8.5. I think I'm going to give him 8.5, really. He deserves 8.5 given that performance yesterday. A goal and assist of plus. Again, he had a brilliant game overall, for being honest. So I'm going to give him 8.5. And please, if you're watching, if you haven't, please do take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Here's a rating for all the players that played on the day. We believe it was, again, a 4-2-3-1 structure, but for attacking, it becomes a 3 at the back, where Thiago Silva stays central, and Koulibaly comes in the right wing back position, right center back position, Cucurella left center back position, White James is up there. It depends if we're attacking from the left. James becomes a right center back man there. But that's, by the way, we move on from that. Let me look at that update in question in a bit and see other things we have to look at. I think it is this one here. Yep, an update from Rich James says 2022 has been the toughest year to date. Just want to thank you all for your support. None of you go unnoticed. It has naturally, again, it's naturally affected me mentally. I'm currently just trying to deal with the card. The cards have been dealt. Yep, I understand that. Again, I hope your end of year is filled with peace, joy, and happiness. Again, that shows really, again, it makes sense because uh, no matter who you are, no matter how strong you are mentally, after again these events repeat so much in your life, I think you'd be again it start affecting you mentally. So I quite understand where he's coming from, saying that it has affected him mentally. So yeah, I hope he recovers quickly. I hope we find a permanent solution to that issue. James is one good player, so important to the team, and I don't want to start seeing situations where he comes back, plays just one game, and boom, gets injured again. That is really, really concerning to me. Give me a second again. If you're just joining, we need 3 more likes to get it to again to get it to 50 likes. We should get it to 50 likes and more. So please, if you haven't, do take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much, guys. Let's see what else we have here. In a bit, another update is up there from Liam Lane, and I'll look at it in a bit. Thank you so much, brother, for all the updates. I sincerely do appreciate that. You don't know how helpful that is. Emmanuel Daniel Harris says again, it's very important that we bring in a capable right back again. Compete with Reece James in January. When Reece James went out, you could see the dip in quality. We were poor in the last 15 minutes. Again, that is just the truth. His absence was felt immediately the moment he got injured. Yes, we need competition for him. I wouldn't call it backup again. I'm going to keep saying that. We want a player who will enable us not to overuse Reece James. The player gets a chance to play again. And the player, when they come in, they will do an equally good job. So, yes, people, thank you again for 48 likes. 2 more to get it to 50 likes. If you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the stream, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Then again, Glenn here says like I'd rather have him take his time. He could go on to be one of the best right wing backs in the world. I get that, but why not go under the knife to correct the issue permanently? Usually, sometimes what players need to do is to go under the knife to correct the problem. Because if you always let it heal, following adhering to the natural process, it comes back again every now and then. But again, medical technologies, medical science has improved so much that if you go under the knife, they will correct it, and it hardly reoccurs. We've had such situations before. I hope he does that because we really do need him. Again, and the time isn't on his side really. He's a young player, but needs to be playing and not to be out with injuries every now and then. I love Chelsea transfer news, but I'm not confident with Potter as a manager. Learn, Phil. Again, I don't blame you, really. Graham Potter, do I think he would do well at Chelsea? I can't. I'm not sure what to say. But one thing is certain. Again, let me just say, do I think he will win trophies at Chelsea? I can't say. But one thing is certain. He's capable of building a unit for us. He's capable of building, again, a team that plays as a unit for us. I think he's capable of doing that. In terms of if he's going to help us win stuff, again, until proven otherwise, I'd say I don't see that happening really. And it's not my fault because he doesn't have the pedigree to back up that. Can he tomorrow surprise us and win the Champions League and win the Premier League next season? Yes, he can, because that's a first for everyone, everything. Pep Guardiola, again, wasn't born with the trophy, so he won. He started with 1, 2, 3, and all. Some as Jose Mourinho, some of Sir Alex Ferguson, some as Jurgen Klopp, Antonio Conte. They were all not born with the trophies they won. So they started somewhere. Again, my point is there's a first for everything. There's a chance tomorrow Grandpa to start winning trophies. But do I think that will happen? Well, I can't say really, if I'm being honest. But let's see what happens. Chelsea is the club I support, and I would want Grandpa to do well, because if he does well, Chelsea would do well. Super Kai, the circuit German, done all right. Again, a shame about Reece James. He clearly rushed back too soon. I wouldn't argue he was rushed back too soon. Remember, there were arguments that he could go, suggesting that he could go to the World Cup with England. And he didn't. Just a precautionary measure, they dropped him. And if he wanted to join them, yeah, he should be ready to play. And from what we heard from Graham Potter, they just wanted to start easing him back in gradually. The plan was for him to play, I think, 60 minutes or so. I'm not sure. So yeah, what has happened has happened. This is no time to point fingers, really. There's a chance even if he stays a month, he comes by, such can happen, because he still needs to play matches again to be easing gradually if that's the case. But I get your point. Exactly, get surgery. Take your time. Again, his position shouldn't be in danger. It shouldn't be. A good player, again, the quality he has. I don't think anything changes, even if he stays out of the team for a year. Really, he's that good. But again, I get the argument. And they decide to sell him, we riot. I don't think they would think that for a million years. If they ever decide to do that, there will not be shortage of clubs willing to secure his signature and pay him how much he's asking for. After all, there was a time Real Madrid started topping him up, and that was when he connected with Vinicius Junior. That was a time you could, again, I will have the rumors that Man City are looking to sign him, and I wouldn't doubt that because his Pep's, again, a perfect definition of Pep's type of player. So, yeah, but he's with us. I don't think he's going anywhere. We need a defender up trust. Again, I agree. We need a defender. If we can get by their shield, again, that will add to the numbers. Bring back Levi Colwell, add into the numbers. So we need depth, really. Frimpong, keep singing it. I can play an instrument for you for that. We should sign a players coach. Yeah, we need players. We need players in the midfield area. We need a player who's capable of creating clear-cut chances from the central area of the midfield, so we don't just create chances from the flanks, which is predictable and easy to stop. And when that happens, we can't not play. And this is an update sent to me by Liam Lane, and it is from Ben and Jacobs, a reputable journalist. If you want to hear that, it says Chelsea are seriously exploring Enzo Fernandez, but Benfica really don't want to sell mid-season, especially with UEFA Champions League football. Paying the 120 million release clause is the simplest approach, but Chelsea FC would rather offer more as with Nkunku and define preferable payment terms. That's a good strategy. It worked with Nkunku. But again, if these guys would get more money, because I heard we're willing to pay 120 million plus 10, some say in total 127 million euros. It's a good strategy. A player, again, if you ask me, I'd say this really. I think 120 million euros or plus 120 or even 127 million euros is a bit too much for Enzo Fernandez, really. I think the whole hype. Yes, he has done well for Benfica, but the hype again, the recent hype comes down. It comes again from his, you could say, a performance at the World Cup. Overall, in total, do I think he had a good World Cup? Yeah, he had a brilliant outing at the World Cup, really. But I think 120 million euros is a bit too much. Your thoughts?
Coach, I don't really understand it. People weren't willing to spend this amount of money on Declan Rice, but then they wanted to spend this money on Enzo Fernandez, which only people know him from this World Cup. So I don't really understand people's mentality towards this player. And then I want to also ask you: did you watch Levi Colwell versus yesterday's on Saturday's game? And what do you think about it? Because I didn't watch it.
I have to be honest. I didn't watch that game.
Because I think
he was running simultaneously when other games was on. Sorry.
I think he.
Sorry, what did you say?
I think he played.
Yeah, I saw comments. I saw comments that he did quite well. It's again, and I really need to follow him. Hopefully, it's not a one-time thing because he hasn't. Again, he's found it difficult to break into that team, Brighton team. I hope he stays there permanently and play enough game that again by the end of the season will, just bring him back and add him to the squad. But go ahead with what you were saying. Let me put out this poll. Okay, just 1 second, guys. I'm putting up a poll here. Yes, he is. What the money? One second. No, that's too much. To me, I still think. Again. That's too much, really. I think the whole hype stems from his performance at the World Cup. which he did quite well. I'm not denying that. Joaquin Mahil from Atalanta. I'm going to check him out. I don't know him that much. Kim, so I'm just saying hello to Kim. So let me see. Again, can we sign the other players from Ajax? Who in particular are you? Okay, you're talking about the Mexican international Alvarez. Yeah. Again, what's his first name? I don't remember. Apparently, Rhys James, a personal coach, is for me. Yeah, we read that again, but I don't think it's wise for him to say that openly because everybody picked up on it again, and it's open to interpretation. You could say that he asked them not to play him, and they went on and did. We don't know what happened really, but he shouldn't be making such a statement. It's so childish, really. But that's, by the way, Enzo is not worth 120 million. Stop the World Cup hype. Again, that's exactly what it is. It's as simple as that. It's just a World Cup hype for me. Use that 120 million to buy a right back. CM, come in CB. We can find talent who are capable of fulfilling those roles excellently for us and not spend that much money on a player. But if the club decides Enzo is the man and they're willing to pay the Benfica's asking price, I will take it. I will keep supporting my club. Yeah.
Do you remember this player, Cuadrado?
Yeah, I remember Cuadrado. Cuadrado plays for Juventus right now.
Yeah, he plays for Juventus
has he left Juventus?
I don't really know, but he plays from Juventus. And how did we get him? We also get him through World Cup hype. And then he came and it's like we're looking at a different type of player. For me, I feel like if we buy Enzo Fernandez that money, then I don't see the use of the new people that we brought in as our scouts because we brought to have this amount of scouts is like to try and get players that like how Benfica were able to scout him when nobody knows him, and then he become this world class player if he's truly a world class player. So I don't see the reason why you should go for players with this money based on the this thing that we have, the scout that we brought in. So for me, I don't agree. If he's like 50 million or 60 million, yeah, then I'll agree. But I don't see any sense of getting the player 120 million. No, I'm sorry. I don't see that. I don't.
Yeah, it depends on the player, but I don't think Enzo is that player. To me, that's really again too expensive. But if they're willing to pay the money, honestly, let them go ahead and pay it. I would take the player really. He's the player. I'm just concerned about how much we're paying for him. He's still 21. Hopefully, it doesn't can at the end become an added pressure on the player. Really, Rice is a good player, but not creative. Enzo. Again, creative and goes to his game. To me, as much as I like Rice, if you're going for a traditional DM, a player who helps you protect the defense very well, I think that's him. But if you want a hybrid DM, Enzo is your man. Benessa is your man. Benessa is actually, Ismail Benessa is actually the player I want, really. But
I want to also ask you, what about Enzo and Dijon? Who would you prefer?
Enzo and who?
Dijon.
I wouldn't. Again, De Jong to me isn't the strongest defensively. Really, if we're really talking about a player who's capable of protecting the defense, who's again defensively minded, a traditional DM, not really De Jong. Enzo is better defensively than De Jong is. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I need to watch them even more to come to that conclusion. So let me not just say who's better defensively, but I'll take Enzo over De Jong. The way we play. I'm not sure really how De Jong fits in there, but I could be wrong. But that's, by the way, to me, if we're really looking for a DM, Vanessa is the man. Or even, again, what's his name? The Moroccan international. But the number one, the player that tops the list for me is, 1 second. Vanessa for me tops the list. He's good. He's a good dribbler. He can dribble his way out of tight spaces. He's a good passer of the ball. He can score good goals. Plus, his tackles are all clean, and he reads the game quite well. So he's that, again, defensive midfielder who's capable of even fulfilling the Kovacic role, the role of 8 and 6, hybrid 8 and 6. So, yeah, to me, Vanessa is the man. But If the club is willing to pay that much money for Enzo and play him deep, that's their business. They know what they want. Look how well again we play when James is on the right flank. When he left the field, we suddenly had no idea and played awful, ridiculous. We're so reliant on him. Yeah, it's dangerous, really, very, very bad, and really concerning. We have a few minutes around of the show. I'm going to try to catch up with what we have in the chat, and then we'll move on. Can we get Ronaldo? I know if you end this show without you asking whether we can get Ronaldo, I will ask you your ID. Really, I know who you are. Namaya Fawale, my Niger brother. Rice is a good player, but he's not creative. Like goals again, Enzo brings more to the table than defense. He's creative and has got goals. I think I've read that one too. And my brother Leon here says again, I never get excited about how much the club are paying for a player. They have their budget and know how to spend it, and that's good enough for me. Yep, the business people, they know how much to spend, and they know how soon they'll get again their return on investment. So no need to worry about it too much. I'm just worried about it being again added pressure on the player. Enzo ain't that special. Again, the hype is from the World Cup, but again, it's hard not to pay attention to it really, especially if you watched him play. The young is a better male. Okay, if you want to phrase it like that. I am afraid Bolly man want to make a statement with Enzo. To me, again, Enzo, if we're signing him to play him deep, it doesn't make sense. I'd rather us pay the money and get Joao Felix, who's again attacking. I wouldn't know. Again, it's a fine creator on his day, but has been stifled by Atletico Madrid's preferred defensive approach to the game. Liverpool are gonna get Enzo. Let's see what happens again. If they spent how much? Who knows how much they paid for Cody Gakpo? Gakpo. If they didn't pay that much money for him, then maybe they still have enough to come fight for Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah,
but let's see.
they spent like 30 million. They spent like 30 million pounds on Gakpo, which I was really surprised. With a player with his caliber, getting him at 30 million, like it's really surprising.
Yeah, it is indeed. Yeah.
I mean, in this market, hardly will you get a player like Gakpo for 30 million pounds.
I'm not sure how much they paid for him. If it's around that number, then they still have quite a lot of money to spend. So here again we have breaking news. Reece James will be out for 3 or 4 weeks. Simon Johnson reports. Okay, that's a Pice quoting Simon Johnson. And Henry Otalo, thank you so much for that update. I sincerely do appreciate that. Glenn says Joao Felix is also about 110 euros. Way too much, brother. Way too much money, really. Especially for young players who they don't have that pedigree. You know, again, you could say to withstand the pressure that comes with paying so much money for a player. Imagine Kova, even if they do, it takes time, really. Imagine Kova, J5, and Enzo in the midfield three under a good manager. Yeah, that's you saying you still don't trust Graham Potter. But that's why I have an update from my brother Liam Lane that I want to look at. Maybe just something beautiful, really. This is Frank Khalid saying, love the stairs at the Matthew Harden stand side. Well, all he says the only place to be every other Saturday is, again, strolling down the Forum Road, meet your mates, have a drink, again, have a mourn, and, start to think, will there ever be a blue tomorrow? We've waited so long. Yeah, but we'd wait forever. Our blood is blue, and we would leave you never. Again, that's so good to see. That's again a good. Again, if you're a Chelsea supporter, you need to read this to understand it. Yeah, again, I love it. And Liam Lane, thank you so much for finding the time to share that. I sincerely do love it. This is a play Kukurea, right back. Lewis Hall, left back. I didn't know Kukurea could play on the right hand side actually, but I know he's a fine player, and we're starting to see. Yesterday he was just brilliant. But that's by the way.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Yeah, he can play at the right back. He used to play at the right back at Brighton. So
really,
they used to put him at right back. I think the time Tariq Lamptey got injured, at some point Eric Clonte was their main man at the right back. So they used to fit him at the right back to play at the right back. So
he did that in the absence of Tariq Lamptey.
Yeah, he did that at the absence. Not all games, but some
during the
games.
absence. Yeah. That's just brilliant. Anything else you want to talk about? Again, Hakeem, so we can call it a day. It's been, again, you can say an enjoyable show, brilliant show so far. Yeah, go ahead.
It's just a question that I want to ask you. Which country do you think Chelsea should get their second fiddle teams? Because I watched some of the interviews of some of the coolness of Chelsea, and then they were thinking about these multiple club thing.
More like the feeder team.
Yeah, like a feeder team. So I don't know which country do you think will be appropriate for feeder team that can develop Chelsea players? Because I always wanted to ask this question and see what people think about it.
I think balance is key. I think balance is key. I don't think it should be a particular country. Again, I wouldn't want to name any particular country. It should be mixed. Every continent has something. The type of players that they produce. South Americans, they produce a particular type of player. Africans, a particular type of player. Again, North America, particular type of player. Asians, a particular type of player. Specifically, something that comes to mind when you talk about Asian players is how hardworking they are. Feet, again, commitment, you get that from them. So that's the only one I can say. That's one that I'm sure what they can bring to a team. Others, again, I have to take my time, do a research to say this continent produces such a player. So I don't think it should be a particular one continent in particular. I think it should be balanced.
I'm talking about the based on the league, because they want to create that team because Chelsea have a lot of players on loan, and the loan this thing have changed. Some of the rules have changed. Sorry, some of the rules have changed. So they want a second feeder team where they can take some of these players for them to develop, like RB Salzburg and RB Leipzig, and they have all of these things, and some of their players come from these places. So I'm thinking, like, if you have any idea of which league do you think would be best league that can develop the players, not like mainly.
No, I'm not sure any really. I like I said, even if I think I understand your question better right now, but even at that, I'd say let it not be in a particular location. But again, it all comes down to what the owners want. Not sure where really. I'm not sure. Again, I can answer that question correctly. But if you get my, yeah. It says again, can we again take care of the baby? It's a let the baby speak. I get it. The baby is on the panel. It doesn't matter really, but I get what you're saying. The injury suffered by Reece James in Chelsea's victory over Bournemouth on Tuesday is not as bad as first feared, with the England defender hoping to return in 3 to 4 weeks. To me, that's still a long time, really. I get it. Even though this hope, given that the length is, again, it isn't a long time. And Liam Lane, thank you so much for the update. I appreciate that. Reece James, again, just 1 second here. Reece James, it hurts more than you could ever imagine. I guess it's another learning lesson. Whatever the lesson is, I am yet to know. I am sure I look back in the future and understand why this had happened, what this had to happen. Growth only takes place when you when you're challenged. Yeah, again, that's the truth. You look back, try to understand the situation and learn why certain things happen. It can be very, very helpful. Liam Lane, again, thank you so much for sharing this update with me. I think I'm going to read the final comment and we'll move on. Chelsea have a meeting today to finalize the payment for Andre Santos, according to Brazilian journalists. I don't know what the delay is. You would think that the deal will be complete by now. But before we end the show, again, I want to say, if you haven't, please do take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And I also want to say thank you to my brother Hakeem and the baby for finding the time to join us on the panel. Again, thank you so much. I cannot thank you guys enough. Liam Lane,
thank you too.
Yeah, more thanks to you, brother. I appreciate that. And again, you finding time to join. Thank you, Liam Lane, for always being available to help. I appreciate all the updates. I wish there's a way I could pay you back for all the support and love you show to the community. Limpen, thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. Kimso, love you, brother. Thank you so much. Glenn, thank you. I love you, brother. And Henry Otalo, thank you for the update. Who else am I missing here? Anyone else, again, in case I miss your name, apologies, I'm only human. And I hope to see you guys next time. Thank you. God bless us all. See you tomorrow for another Blue Morning Show. God bless us all, and bye.